Maybe it's hard to see when you're looking at me, but I do what I want, don't give a fuck at all. Looking for something sweet when it comes time to eat. You better start to run when I call, 'cause I know that you don't really know how to handle it.
Yo, what up, ladies and gents? How are all of you lovely people doing today? I should have opened up chat. That would have been quite smart to do. How you doing today, Phoenix? You having a good day, my man?
I am. I know you're across the pond. I'm in America over here. It's feeling pretty good. I have all these accents in my mouth right now because you have your accent. And we have the French accent from a lot of these players and captains. So I'm over here trying to make sure that I hold on to mine because I have an addiction to kind of starting to talk like you guys a little bit. So I'll keep it my way.
I'm terrible for it. When I go somewhere for a week, I come back, I feel like I sound like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Irish
adapt.
after being in Ireland for a week. But yeah, I'm super excited today for some games of Paladins. We haven't seen any competitive play in probably, I mean, the Winter Cup would have been the last big one, but I can't even remember how long ago that feels like forever ago. So I'm very excited that we've got a little bit of a summer tournament coming up, and I'm quite excited for today now.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about this current meta. I know that in ranked we have a little bit of a different situation than we do in some of the competitive matches. It's been a long time, as you just said, since we had real competitive games. I was talking to some of our friends in the Discord a little bit here, and they were saying that tanks are just extremely strong, especially Inara. What's so special about Inara right now?
Yeah, tanks are very prevalent. As I just said to you as well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect to see it in ranked, but I would not be shocked if we've seen some triple tank today. But with Inara specifically, she had a few minor changes, but when you have minor changes, they can add up to massive changes. So she had a reduction. She no longer has a reduction in movement speed when she's firing, so she's a little bit more able to put pressure out. But most importantly, she has on her Mother's Grace, her right click ability, she has an increased amount of healing on that, and the healers right now are very strong. So simply based on the fact that the healers are so potent, Inara's innate ability to receive healing so well has made her a top tier character.
That makes total sense, especially when you have so much damage output with a couple of different flanks right now, as you were talking about, especially on controller.
Yeah,
I expect that Inara is just able to, the ultimate still being as strong as it is, and the healing that you just talked about, just the sustain. It's true in Smite, it's true in Paladins. We're not too surprised about that. I know that Smite is kind of like the thing you never say in a Paladins cast. I'm breaking the cursed rules.
Breaking rule number one straight away.
Yeah, I can't say any other high-res games. I mean, but Paladins in this situation is going to be a very competitive. We have a couple of different games being played today, I believe 5 or so. We don't know many of the teams. We don't have much research on them. We're kind of going in here a little bit more blind as far as it goes, but we do know Paladins. We know what we expect to see as far as characters go, as well as some play style possibly with those comps. Any other characters any other Paladins you would not be surprised to see today?
Not surprised to see the ones that I definitely we're going to see at some point today. You mean?
Yes.
Who are we definitely going to see today? I'd be shocked if we didn't see Alex. Bomb King or two might sneak through here and there as well. I mean, Genos. There's no way. He's either 100% banned or he's picked. There's just no way we're not going to be seeing that character throughout today. I think we're actually about to go into a game here. The draft was on screen just a moment ago for us. I don't know if we're swapping over to that now. But yeah, as I say, Bomb King, he's already come through. Hey, Bomb King is one of these characters that I don't know whether teams with compositional knowledge are going to be able to counter him through play style, or because he's just one that I just always get rid of, and especially on a map like as we see on the screen here now, Jag Falls. But I don't know if we're going to be casting this match. Yeah, no problem. That'd be fantastic. Yep. We can change the scene here. We can have a look at the draft.
We will find out if it'll work.
Ah, I see. I've spoiled a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
BK.
ahead of myself here. I didn't know what we were doing, ladies and gents. My apologies for that. Here you go. Here's the draft there for you guys. Now you can see on the screen here. If this is done in order, I like to. So as we can see from one side of the screen, what I can show you here, this is going to be really important for the rest of the tournament. If you look on the bands on the bottom right-hand corner, we see a Furia and a Genos band. Now those two are two of the more potent characters in the game at the moment. They're like first pick, first ban potential. So from these bands, we can see the other side has picked up the early Grover, and they're the holy trio. They're the big three. If two of those are banned, you're going to want the Grover. If you don't want them to have the Genos, you're probably going to see Grover Furia. We do on the other side see a Lilith, who's kind of a little bit of a secret weapon. I think after today, people are going to start to respect a little bit more of a pick. Outside of that, everything else pretty standardized. Actually, no. Well, I'm crazy. They got a double heal. They got Grover Corvus. What are they doing? Who is this? What is going on?
Yeah, double healer, as well as, is the Makoa a typical pick as of right now? Is it big pools?
Makoa fell off a bit because of the controller players. Makoa has a very easy headshot hitbox to hit. So because of this aim assist meta with characters we spoke about like earlier, like Koga, in my opinion, Makoa has fallen off a fair bit because of that. The transition of both those coming across. He's still a very good pick. He still does his job very well. But into the enemy composition, the Drogos and the Koga, I'd be a little bit scared for the Makoa.
Yeah, but also is Makoa's pull is that able to go vertically? Correct? You're able to pull down, so you could pull a Dragos out of the sky if you can make that happen. It reminds me of something like Overwatch, where you would pull a Mercy out of the sky or something of the sort to make it so that it would be a much easier kill for your team. The CC ability, the ability to cause what would be usually a killing blow or an escape was not as much of an escape when you have a Makoa on your team or on the enemy team, excuse me. Very difficult to do as a Dragos.
Yeah, 100%. It's just whether the consistency of those hooks are going to be enough value against the Drogos. And then on top of that as well, the consistency of the value on the hooks on Koga. Koga has a dash mechanic kind of similar to like, if you're using Overwatch terminology, it's kind of like a tracer, but he's immune during that dash. When he dashes, he's intangible. He can't be hooked. So it's quite easy for a Koga to bait out a Makoa hook. And then on top of that as well, it's relatively easy for a Drogos on Jaguar Falls to position a way that he's not going to have to be getting hooked by a Makoa, because he often plays with his fire spit mechanic, which is like a old school I'm forgetting the name of the old school game everyone used to play, but basically when you shoot a big spit and you blow it up with a bazooka and it creates a larger explosion. So he's kind of hiding a lot of the time, you know. He's more peak shooting characters. Well, he should be, is what I should say.
Yeah. CSGO, old good regular Valorant shooters nowadays, where you shoulder peek and you kind of just shoot out all your damage and hope to do 1,000 damage within 2 seconds. That's how it works, right?
He's very good at doing that, Drogos is, yeah. He's very good at not being a consistently hittable target, would probably be a good way to put it. But I mean, if the Makoa's on point, you know, if the Makoa's on point, he can do his job.
Yeah, in Overwatch, we would answer that usually with a high amount of DPS, right? So you would put, that would be a Soldier 76 would answer to a flying character. And so is that something that we'll probably see here, as well as a lot more high DPS and, you know, damage coming out and forcing the damage out? Because I don't know if Bomb King's the answer to a Drogos.
No, most certainly not. Bomb King isn't the answer. Talus can do fairly well, but that depends upon how high the Drogos is. The Drogos is like skirting the ceiling, the blockade of the ceiling, as far as he can go. Talus is going to do a little bit of tickle damage, but I wouldn't be. I don't think the Drogos will play like that though, to be honest. So the Talus should be able to get a bit of damage. The Bomb King, here and there, but they don't really have a positive answer to the Drogos. To be perfectly honest, they really don't.
Yeah, I think we've already named them all, which is just going to be the Koa if they can get the pull, and then if that does not happen, then you're basically going to be free reign for the Drogos, and then you're going to have the behind the line with the far left flank character, whatever his name is.
Koga.
Yeah, Koga. Thank you. Grover is obviously just going to be able to walk at these guys, no problem with Fernando, and that's a scary feeling if you're on the red team as of right now, which is your only answer is going to be either put out enough damage. Or hope that Koa Shield lasts for long enough to sustain for your entire front line, because the back line is going to have a hard time, especially with Talos just trying to escape, even though his mobility is quite high.
It's such a weird draft, man. Honestly, I'm kind of thrown off. I don't know whether this is going to be one of those ones where I'm going to be pleasantly surprised, or whether the blue team's draft is like they have a perfect draft minus the Corvus. If the Corvus didn't exist in their draft and they had a really good off tank, I don't know, maybe if a lot of the off tanks were banned, but if we could have seen a Khan in that composition, it's maybe one of the best drafts you could get on this. I don't know how they're going to fare with having such little tank pressure on the map. Because if... Yeah, I'm ready. Okay,
We are ready for this game.
I'm ready to rock, yeah.
Let's see here. Let me make sure I got the teams right. I think we got our first game. This is Project Delta and Full Defense, if I'm correct.
Oh, interesting. The blue squad Noise was originally playing with the red squad's Bugsy on another team. So now they're both on teams, separate teams, and playing against each other in the first round. That's kind of cool.
You know some lore.
Some kind of drama and a rivalry between these guys. You would not believe the things Noise and Bugsy were saying backstage, ladies and gents. Honest to God, this is true rivalry between teams that you could imagine for the first game here now.
Yeah, we're seeing some very typical pickups as far as items go as of right now. We got some bulldozers, we got some Chronoses, we got some Nimbles. So I'm not surprised to see exactly this. And is there current cards that you expect that will? Oh, we already seen some action here. Sorry, I did not see them already rotating into the middle of the map. And Koa is already ready and positioned to a good position to take this site with his entire team.
Koa doing definitely a good job keeping it pushed in there. Nice look on the Fernando. They managed to burn the shield, but he does get out a little bit here. He's falling low, and it is going to be Fernando the first to go here now.
Yeah, we're not surprised about seeing Fernando first blood with the flames and the early damage coming out. Ultimates could be, oh, early pause. They said, one of our players died. Let's go ahead and take a pause. Why don't we?
We need to figure out the strategies here. What happened? This is what I was thinking is going to be the main issue for Project Delta. As I said, the lack of tank pressure with having double support and the singular Fernando. Once they lose that Fernando, that's it. Their entire pressure on the entire map. I mean, if you look now already, the red squad full defense are having absolute field day with position of the map. They have about 3/4 of it to themselves. Blue squad just tucked up in this one little corner. And with two tanks holding both of the choke angles here, there's not really a whole lot Project Delta can do till the Nando returns. Saying that though, Nova does end up falling. They do lose the Talus here.
Yeah, Talus is going to have to end up falling. The mobility was not enough at the time. Objective captured already by full defense. So this will be a push for the red team going the way of blue. With the Fernando falling early, that probably was the issue.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse for the Fernando as well. They have two very good Wrecker champions. The Bomb King and the Talus are phenomenal at shredding shield. And that's pretty much all the survivability that Fernando has is that shield. He does have a lot of sustain from the heals, considering he has double support, but I don't think the tank pressure or the damage pressure is worth that extra healing.
Ooh, really good ultimate coming from Riders to get the kill onto Makoa. Synergy will fall here as well as FPS Shuma will land the kill back onto Drogos, no problem. We still have the choke point here, but the ultimate will come out for both Fernando as well as Ilya, and this is a good, oh man, he just barely got out of that one. Bianchi will drop down onto another member of the red team as of right now.
Very lucky surviving there for the Fernando, but again, as this game progresses, the Cauterize, that passive Cauterize, Paladins now has, is going to continuously scale upwards, which is going to take those clutch moments to being a lot more far and few in between. He's not going to have that survivability for much longer, and the pressure is still just mounting.
Full defense has made it past the first choke point as of right now. They're making their way towards the second one that blue team probably will meet them at. Makoa has split off, will zoom on back to his team, pull on a wonderful person, but that person will immediately ult back into their face and will retreat upon seeing the fact that 5 members of Project Delta was ready to take that fight if need be.
That was very good actually there from Makoa. Fantastic hook from Makoa to put him in such a dangerous position, but Makoa did it well. He managed to get the ult off and actually escape. He's getting very low again here now. They have lost their main support, I would call it, with the Grover down now, falling back onto the secondary heals of the Corvus. It's not looking too good for them. Fernando very low. Is he going to get staggered out? Are they going to get the Drogos here? This is not looking good. This is not looking good at all. They've lost another 2 here now, and the staggered retake is going to be very difficult.
Fernando falling here again was the issue with losing that last point. It might be the issue with losing this entire score right here. Now we'll probably go to a 2-4 in the, sorry, a 2-0 in the way of full defense. Really well done by the red team there, especially you really can't compete when you're losing Fernando's and losing Drogos at the end point as well as on cap point.
Yeah, once it reached that point that there were 3v5 and the amount of time it was going to take for those two characters to come back, it was going to be very difficult for the remaining 3 on their team to actually hold that defense. Maybe if the Koga had held his ult from earlier, but again, I think the use of it earlier was necessary and a good use. But for full defense, having quite an easy showing so far. And as I said, things are only going to get harder now for the Fernando with this Bomb King having Rekka 2 online already. It's not going to make things easy for them. The Lilith with the morale boost 2 as well. Once she has those ults online, she becomes near unkillable. So that Drogos is going to have a very hard time taking out the heals from the enemy team. He's going to go in with ultimate. Is he going to manage to get anyone is the question. He doesn't manage to get anyone. That's terrible. That's very unfortunate. A good fire spit damage though, keeping the enemy tank off the point. But again, seems like it's not really going their way. Oh, never mind. It is going their way.
It's going their way as of right now. Bomb King will use ultimate, giving a big hug. Is he? But will not land onto any kills, but is finding himself in the position to get a kill. Bugsy will land a kill onto Yankee. This is the trades they need right now because they have to cap this point if you are in Team Blue, and that's exactly what they're ready to do. 58% going the way of Project Delta. Makoa using ultimate here to see if he can make some more room for his team.
That was an absolutely huge hook as well. Fantastic ult into big hook. Circumvented the Fernando ultimate, which had to be used there to keep him alive. And Red Squad got a lot of pressure again back now, but anyone with an ultimate is Koga. And as I say that, he is going to use it without getting a pickup again, having to fall back. A bit of defense, though. I have to say, using Koga ult just to stay alive, not a negative in my mind, but now it's not looking good. Nova finds 2. The Nyx finds another, and that's going to be 5 versus 2 now. The full defense ticking over for their 3rd point of this match.
In our analyzing, we had said that there was going to be no answer to this Drogos, but like it's feeling as if though there is an answer to the Drogos as of right now. They're just pushing them back. It must be the sustain or the tank ability of Makoa that's just allowing for this to happen.
I just think it's that the Drogos can do as much as a job as he wants right now, but they only have 1 DPS character. Oh, sorry, they have. Sorry, they don't have. Sorry, they only have the 1 DPS, the 1 flank. They don't really have the pressure to consistently use this kind of damage that he should be outputting. You know, it's all well and good him getting a load of fire spit damage, but if you don't have anyone to put the pressure out to push to finish those kills, he's such a backline character. He can't do it himself.
Yeah, and Bomb King is doing exactly that right now, which is finishing kills, getting the kill on the Yankee, forcing them back to bases right now to try to come back here and get some more of this cart push because they're at the next choke point. Red has done this before. They have been in this exact spot where if they get one more pick here, this could roll very quickly for Project Delta to go and not in their favor, sadly, because Fernando is up in the front line already trying to tank up all of this damage using his ultimate. And then Bomb
Really
King.
nice Fernando ult. Really nice Fernando ult. Surprised to see the Bomb King ult there in retaliation, but it is a 1-for-1 trade right now. If they manage to pick up another kill here, I'd be very shocked if they didn't use maybe the Lilith ult as well. But now that time's ticking over, they didn't seem to get a pick. I'm surprised to have seen the Bomb King ult there. I was kind of hoping that they would try and get 1 pick, then use the BK ult to roll. But instead they just opted to use that as a retaliation to the Angelo ult. They do manage to pick up the kill on Talus here as well. Koga in the backline getting some crazy damage off, but it's not going to be enough. Again, uses the ult for the survivability and managed to get a kill this time on the back end. This is much better showing now on Project Delta on this defense than we did see earlier.
Yankee is doing very well. Yeah, they're waking up.
Not say they didn't play well earlier, but it looks like they're waking up to their composition a little bit more, kind of using their using what's good within this competition a little bit better. Hopefully they can survive this one out and we can get another point fight.
I would hope so as well because Yankee is doing very well. As I was just saying, it's looking, oh well, there's Drogos ult coming out. This could be the turn of the tide for the red team, but Drogos once again will not land, actually will land a kill onto Makoa, but it was very low already, as well as Yankee will find another kill onto the red team. This is another failed push because another bomb not looking good for Bomb King, and they can push out here. Defense successful for Project Delta. Another point will be played. Good call there, Bees.
Yeah, that was really well played from them. Good use of the ultimates in the end, especially the Drogos one. Although the Drogos is dying on a defense this close to the base, it's always it's a positive in defense for a 1v1 trade because you'll respawn and be back to the fight a little bit faster. They respawn faster than you, but then the travel time from their base to your base means that you actually get back to the fight a little bit faster. So obviously certain characters aren't worth trading for certain characters, like your healer for a flank probably isn't going to be worth it, but the Drogos for the tank most certainly is a value trade. They do use the ultimates though, so we're not seeing many ults now for Project Delta, so they're going to have to play a little bit safer at the start here, I'd imagine, try and get a little bit ult charge instead of just charging straight into full defense, but I expect full defense to not really give them much of a chance.
Reminds me of first point. Here. Yeah. It's good. Fernando already here, ready to do it. He didn't really take your recommendation there. Yeah, he said, I'm just going to go in. I don't care if I don't have ultimate. I'm ready to go.
Seeing the opportunity, and
he's currently surrounded by 4 men. He's surrounded by 4, and he actually is still alive at the current time. We have a double trade going both ways. Makoa and Fernando are the ones looking at each other, and then the final, another 2 trades. This is 2 members down of both teams. Very close fights here. We're going off to the side to take the last fight. Synergy will fall on the Makoa. We have the tank still alive from Project Delta, Fernando.
Yeah, that Fernando ult again, very well used there, just to keep them alive. They didn't really have much of the sustain going on, but just to even keep them living just for that moment was kind of enough. Bombking coming in with an ult here. This could be huge. No more Fernando ult. So that stun is going to be quite impactful on him, especially if they can tear down his shield. Very well done from Project Delta retreating here, actually recognizing the threat of that Bombking ult and giving back a little bit of space. They have the time. The capture point is only at 33% on the enemy side, so they didn't get pressured. They didn't get panicked, would be a good way to say it.
Yeah, it's going to reset them.
Yeah,
reset
exactly.
Gear.
Some players, they get too panicked when it's on 99, but it's their 99. So it's been very well played for them.
Much more than... Oh, great pull right there, and that's a good
them,
kill. Yeah. Nova will secure the kill, thankfully. The goes there for the great pull, though.
No.
And there's Red Team.
Used his ult and didn't get anything for it. Got killed by the Bomb King as he was coming in. Another kill for Bugsy. Triple kill for Bugsy to finish off our set number 1. And that was very well played from the Red squad there. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, really well done. I would have to agree with you that the Bomb King felt really good actually sometimes. But sometimes
earlier, I banned that character. There is no way I'm letting Bomb King through on that map, dude. If I'm playing ranked, that's the first character I'm looking to ban is Bomb King. He's just obscene on this map here. And I mean, they had the Bomb King and they had the Talus as well. Talus is like a number 1 pick ban in ranked at the moment if you have a good player for that character. You don't always have to ban him because it requires, someone to actually play him. But if you're playing against this level of teammates, this level of enemies, disrespecting the Talus pick is probably a good way to put yourself at a disadvantage. And again, as well, the Bomb King, letting Bomb King throw on Jaguar Falls, in my opinion, is a mistake in of itself. What was the damage numbers? So we have 87,000 for the Bomb King, 86,000 for the Talus. What did the Dragos got? 74,000. So they only edged him out of damage by a little bit, to be honest with you.
You would expect the Dragos to do more than that still, though, right? You would expect his team around him.
With the Bomb King, yeah. But I guess, to be honest with you, the positions that the Bugsy and those lads would be looking to play on this map, I think they'd be more inside, It'd be hard for the Dragos to be getting those angles to hit those shots, which is what I think they've also made a mistake in, is that the Dragos pick could be good, but maybe not into the characters that they're against. But we didn't get to see the draft order, So it's very easy to say that's a mistake. But we don't know at which point the Dragos was picked, That could have been a counter pick to take away from Bugsy, for example. They could have said, we don't want Bugsy to have Dragos. We'll take it now to make sure he doesn't get it. But then all played themselves in the long run, Because we don't know the order. We can't really, I'm not saying it as a negative. But yeah, I just don't think it's the best character into the choice of characters that they're against.
Bomb King Ben, possibly? Do you want to...
I don't know what they banned as well, because we didn't really see it. I know we put it up on screen for a flash moment, but I didn't really, have enough time to run the draft process through my mind. Running a bit slow,
It's fair enough. And I see the damage come out. I see the numbers come out from a Bomb King, especially when it's on, a pro player that even someone from 2017 times.
Yes, he's one of the big boys as well. He was one of the best of the best. And he doesn't even play that much anymore. And the level of play that he retains without playing the game consistently is nothing short of incredible, honestly. Nothing short of incredible how well he continues to play to this day.
Yeah, and it looks like we're already going to start moving over to our next game at some point here. Not like into the game right now, but we'll go and start to fixture towards that, which is going to be Jobless and Toman is a different part of this bracket. Actually, right next to Project Delta and Full Defense will be the next one we will be spectating. I'm different metas. I mean, that was a kind of a different game. You already said you were very surprised by that double healer on the side of, I believe, Project Delta, or was it Full Defense? I forget exactly which one it was, but one of the two teams kind of had a different situation going on. We might see something a bit different in this game, just based on, this is comp play, as I said when we first got into this stream.
I don't think double support is really that good anymore. Full stop. I think there's certain combinations like Grover, Grok, Grover, Furia on certain maps. Like this map, Grover, Furia, Grover, Grok could have worked. But the Grover, Corvus, I don't understand the thought process. There's nothing in my mind that I can come up with to justify why the Corvus was picked there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I literally, for the life of me, could not think of any reason.
It would have been another flank, right? Instead, is what it probably should have been.
Off tank they would have had. I mean, they could have taken a flank if they wanted to, but off tank would have been like the quote unquote generic pick. I'm not going to say it's the best pick, but that would be the generic pick. But I don't know what the Corvus was healing. Like what Corvus is typically taken as a very specific flank heal. He keeps flanks alive, and they had a Koga, but Koga on this map can just stay within a good radius of Grover for the healing that he needs. He really shouldn't require another specific healer for his healing on top of that. I just think
you're stacking too much healing.
And what you're losing for what you're gaining, I think they lost a lot more than they could ever have potentially gained.
Yeah, we've seen the chat. Stun Fury would have been a better, if anything. I totally agree. Yeah, there could have been an option for a little bit more CC. Because if you have a Koga, just have setup for the Koga would have been probably the best solution, which is why you're saying off tank, because that's exactly what they can do, is just create more chaos.
Yeah. The pressure they could have had with... And as well, it puts so much workload on the Fernando. But I don't think people realize how difficult it is to solo tank, especially with something like Fernando, who's so heavily countered by Rekka, by 0.2, 0.3, 100% he's countered by the Rekka. So to have him in a situation where he needs to fight a real strong point tank in Nyx, and then rotate off point and still create pressure on the map for his teammates, like you need to play near pixel perfect, for such a playstyle to work. And I don't think we're at a point of competitive gameplay where we're going to see that work too well at the moment. Let's give it a little while. Maybe there'll be teams, some of the best teams in the league at the moment might be able to pull something like that off, but it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, and once again, we'll see picks and bans probably flash up on the screen here in a couple of seconds, or we'll just go right into the game because this is going to be another Full Defense and Project Delta. I'm sorry, I kind of baited you there thinking that we're going into a different match because we might be hopping around, but we'll go into game 2 here for... Oh, actually, no, this is 2 different teams, right, Quentin?
It has to be. It's the same map. I think.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
They have to, when they get into the game...
Names gotta change.
They have to manually change it once the game actually loads up. So each time it loads up, it'll just say the last teams that we already seen. As you see now, they're just changing over now.
Sorry about that.
So this would be Jobless. Nah, no trouble, brother. This would be Jobless and another name, which I can't quite say right now. Hold up.
Toman.
Give me one moment.
PS4. Hey, PS4 players.
PS4. And Toman PS4.
There you go. And
we got another Jaguar Falls map here coming up. I don't know if we're going to see the draft or whether we're just going straight into game. That would be useful to know. Okay, so we're just going jumping straight into the game here, ladies and gents. We're not going to be checking out the draft. Just judging from just initial first looks, they both have really good drafts. They both have fantastic drafts here. There's nothing I can necessarily point out to say one is better than the other. Although, to be honest with you, getting Betty on this map is always really good, but maybe not for these guys because they're already all dead.
Yeah, Jobless has already ran through. Mamba it fell down immediately. That was very quick. I'm not used to the La Mamba seeing this in the situation. We see the Janos this game though. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, the Genos pick coming through. I'm gonna say that Jobless is quite a well-known team of players, very well versed in the competitive scene. So I could imagine if maybe they didn't know the enemies, that they wouldn't be too concerned about what they let the enemies get, and would be more concerned on just taking whatever they want. So that's probably why we see the Genos being allowed through. I mean, to be honest with you, the fact they've got Koga, Betty, and that whole thing, if you got that in ranked, you'd be the happiest boy ever right now, to be honest with you. If that was your ranked draft, you'd be a very happy boy. But Jobless, they're the kind of players that it doesn't matter to them what the enemy takes. They're more concerned with outplaying the others, you know?
Yeah, and they're running it down right now. They're currently pushed into their base is Tobin.
I mean, you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
This is not a good situation to be in if you're on the blue team. Toman needs to go ahead and push out here. Maybe get a pick with Koga if they can, but that's not exactly happening right now. Frontline doing very well from Jobless.
Yeah, the Khan is just an absolute beast at the moment, this character. He's a heavy... He's one of the only characters that you can say is a heavy pick for both PC and console. On console, his hit scan damage is absolutely ridiculous, but then his ability to just be a really good off tank in general makes him a really power pick on PC as well. His ult is fantastic as well. He's basically an execute ult on a tank, which is very strong. As long as it's played correctly, you'll be able to execute with it.
Dude, I think Buck might have as much damage as Drogos did last game. Right now, because my goodness, I don't know if that's exactly true, but man, is he running it down. We are at the last push here for Jobless. If they can get a couple more picks, maybe only 1 or 2 more picks. Fernando already used his ultimate in the previous fight, so only has 30% as of right now. Will not be able to sustain against the entirety of Toman. But, yep, there it is. Yep, push number 1 will go the way of Jobless. Toman will fall. They were in base the entire situation there, the entire round. Is there something they can do to go ahead and turn that around? What do they need to do?
Firstly, they need to stop pushing out alone when they're in the base. You can see, for example, I noticed the Koga just running out while the remainder of his team is dead. And a lot of people do this and they think that it's not so bad because they can get back to the base without realizing the extra heal time and the cooldowns you've lost and the damage ult charge you've given to the enemies is quite a large detriment without anything in return. So I'd like to see them group up a little bit better when they're actually when they're losing fights. Just, you know, instead of staggering each other out a little bit would be helpful for them. But against Jobless and against the pressure that Jobless is already putting out, I don't think we're going to see too much of a fight back here, unless Buck does something really stupid and just dies because he's getting too aggressive because he doesn't think he has to play well, which might have just happened. No, never mind.
Oh my goodness.
Never mind, they wiped him.
Yeah, position on the map. Currently, the point going 33% already in the way of Jobless. This is looking pretty dominant in their favor, and you have given all the notes you can to Toman. Grover sitting here throwing axes a mile away. If he can land one, it might actually do help to his team right now, who is pushing Toman already back into base. This is not the position they want to be in again. They're repeating what happened just a couple seconds ago, but there is a good trade for the Buck. Maybe this will be the good push for them to possibly hold it at a better choke point than last round.
Yeah, I mean, how deep does this card need to be here right now, honest to God? They're probably just going to try and die off here, let themselves regroup a little bit. I just want to point out as well that it is actually the Grover Furia. This is why one of the only two combos of double support that I think would be of actual use. So the Furia has incredible sustain for tanks. She basically heals on percentage of the character she's healing's max HP. So the more HP someone has, the more healing Furia does. So she can just focus these tanks, make sure they are healthy consistently, and then the Grover does actually really good damage and consistent all-round heals to everyone. And it just with the Fury roll on top of that, the amount of pressure that they end up putting out, it's just, I mean, it speaks for itself in this game.
Yeah, Furia is also creating a ton of CC and a ton of room for her team just alone. And as we said, the Khan, and this is their last defense. I'll stop what I was saying right there. Toman trying to get a Janus ultimate already coming out right there, as well as Inara will end up falling for Toman already. Red team pushing in, and the blue team already in base. Couple more meters left of this cart push, and it will be Jobless pushing a 4-0 win. And that was dominant fashion. I'm not excited to see them play again because it feels like there's almost going to be no answer.
No, I don't. I think the caliber of teams here is of a different level. And again, I never try and say these things to be horrible to anyone, but sometimes the facts are facts. You know, a team like Jobless who need a very competent team to put up a fight against those players. They're no joke.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of Jaguar Falls this day. I hope to see some different maps than that because it feels like there's always the same chokeholds as far as the first one, right when you get into the main entryway to the site, as well as right when you get into the green pasture. Both sides are basically the exact same, so it's a very nice map to play on. But I would love to see some other ones because we do have other maps on Paladins that are all very fun. And not really much to say about that game besides, as you said, Grover Fiora probably having the two of them together just feels like there's no way to kill anyone because there's so much sustain.
Yeah, the amount of and then Buck as well. Buck herself sustain on top of that.
Yeah.
So I think as well, I'm not going to say this confidently because I haven't actually tried it as well. Furia hasn't done so well in terms of healing flanks because flanks typically have a lower HP. So that means percentage of that Fury is healing you for less. Buck's quite a tanky flank. Buck is the flank that's almost like a pseudo little mini, I don't want to say off tank because that makes it seem like he's very tanky, but as far as flanks go, you know, Buck can hold his own. So wondering whether the Furia Buck makes a sizable difference in how much heals he gets from Furia in compared to the other flanks. That's something I actually wouldn't mind to test out. Or maybe they just wanted to play Buck today.
Yeah, you're gonna be in ranked games after this, forcing out your teammates.
That's the worst thing about tournaments. Honestly, the worst thing about tournaments is really competent teams taking compositions that require a lot of team play and making them look fantastic. You know.
Yeah, Quentin. If we move up to tour number 1, could we do the back-to-back the dudes up there? I won't say the results out loud, but yep. All right. I was just communicating with our production lead about how we're looking to go and do this next game. I'm looking for some interesting games. We got a 4-1 and a 4-0 because it feels like these games are just going very much so.
Most of the Paladins tournaments unfortunately go that way at the start. It's the difference in how good you can be at Paladins in comparison to like 5 friends playing, you know, it's there's a sizable difference. I mean, it goes for the same for any competitive game, doesn't it? Same as Smite, you know. If you take 5 of the best Smite players and you take a group of friends and put them against each other,
yeah,
it's only going to go one way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to go very much so one way. It's not going to be the way that you want it to be. If you have five of your best friends that have been playing together for 3 years and then a team of guys that just got together because they like to play the game from work. So it's kind of how it's going to go. And you're going to have the Koa on your team. Sorry, not the Koa, the Janos on your team, and it's not going to work out the way that you thought it would, even though he's an OP character, but the other team has the Grover and the Fiora, so GG. There's no way to go about it.
As I said, they can let whatever they want through in those circumstances. It's not really that impactful to them. So we see the Bomb King ban and the Inara ban. Again, this is another one of those maps that I think Bomb King is incredibly pressure. The amount of pressure he creates is incredible, so to speak. Getting rid of him is definitely a good choice in my opinion for this map. And then of course the Inara ban as well, a pretty staple ban at this point. Just getting rid of the Inara, the annoyance of dealing with her in game, I just think isn't worth it. She's maybe you could argue that she's not worth to ban, but then in the reverse, is she worth to leave open? You know, it's either or, you know.
It's a good question. You always see the chance if you leave her open that it could be something much worse for your side, but we see some very generic bans. The Bomb King being banned, though, this time, it's not like we have any pro players in this game. I don't see any names as of yet. We might, but the Bomb King ban makes sense. The Eevee as well coming out. Is that something that you expected to see?
Yeah, Eevee ban is quite prevalent at the moment. She is arguably the best flank for against the controller people because of the way that she innately plays, that she can consistently blink in just instantaneous fashion. It can be very difficult for the controller lads to keep up with the tracking against a high tier Eevee. So that's a pretty standard ban. Now there's a lot of flanks that can do that job, but none of them that have instant teleportation the same way that Eevee does, which is what kind of makes her just that little edges her out in difficulty for controller players to hit. We have the Nyx coming through on the enemy side, and Nyx is the most recent tank to be added into the competitive roster, and she's currently the answer to Inara. If the enemy gets Inara, you kind of want to be getting Nyx on your team. So to have the Inara gone and to pick up the Nyx is a really good start in terms of tank pressure for Macaroni here.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be the answer. It can be the answer to something else now besides the Inara, which is a good solution, as well as the Grover. We have seen now 3 Grover games. Grover very strong as far as our supports go. Of course, we've seen him for that reason, because he is just a strong backline healer. Usually you leave him on the site to cap, like we did see in that previous game, where you can just leave him there, let him throw axes from a mile away, and maybe he'll land a couple and just be able to self-sustain the entire time. That goes the same for Buck, like we saw in the last game. But in this situation, we expect to see another big pick here. I might want to see something like another frontline or answer with another support going the way of back-to-back.
Not too fussed on which tank they play. The off tank will probably be the best choice to take in now. So if they picked up an Azan or a Khan, it'd be very good for them. They don't need to worry about point tank because the enemy has Atlas, another very, very good pick. And I wouldn't be shocked to see a Fury pick here. Okay, Atlas and Khan. So they've opted instead to go for the pressure of having 2 off tanks. So basically, their thought process here might be the fact they've banned Inara, they have Nyx, we've lost on the point fight, theoretically speaking. We can take Fernando, we can take Barik, but they are lesser. Why not just take 2 better off tanks and force pressure on the map instead of force pressure on the point?
Yeah, and also you take away 2 tanks from Pazzi right now, because that's exactly what they're looking for. Still on the table for them. Fernando's still on the table if they want it. They can have a large main tank as far as it goes with a shield, and they could possibly even get an off tank. We could treat Grover as a kind of an off tank, but just mainly more of a support, because he is very squishy still. He is not going to be like the Atlas. But
Sky pick, interesting. Okay, so Sky is very good. She's a percentage-based damage character, so she's very good at burning tanks. But the 2 tanks they have aren't necessarily the kind of ones that Sky would normally go against, because Khan has a personal shield that he can put up whenever he wants. That kind of negates a lot of Sky's like consistent burst. And then I don't know how well she does into Atlas, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, but I am surprised by this pick. I'm also surprised by the Vivian ban. I was expecting maybe to see a Furia ban, but they've gone for the Ashe ban now as well. Again, surprised by the Ashe ban. I probably would have been expecting to see an Azan ban here.
Yeah, Furia is still open this entire time.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe back-to-back have a known healer player on their team, so they know that banning out the healers isn't going to do anything, kind of situation, you know? So that could be the potential there. Okay, we go for the Azan now for the Macaroni. That's exactly what I was expecting to see. As I said, I would rather have seen that as a ban for back-to-back, but maybe they got something cooking that I'm not aware of.
They probably do, honestly.
And that's the trouble. As I said, because at the moment I only ever play ranked. Ranked mindset and competitive mindset are very different. And what's correct in ranked does not mean it's correct for competitive, you know? Especially when you know the 5 players in your team, you know what they can play, and you know their play style. You can be a lot riskier in what you take. You don't have to follow what would be considered the meta rules. And we do get the Lilith. So this is exactly what I was saying. The Furia could have been a fantastic ban, but if they have a support player that can play Lilith, you are not necessarily getting anything for the Furia ban. You're taking away that great support. As I said, Lilith is the uncovered gem at the moment that I think today a lot of people are going to realize that she's a lot better than she's been getting credit for. The Tyra pick, fantastic as well. Tyra has a mark that increases damage and reveals people when they're invisible. So that Tyra pick is a direct counter to their Sky pick. I really like back-to-back draft here, and I would be surprised. Oh, will I be surprised? They got good range damage. I'm gonna side back-to-back draft here personally.
Do you feel like the flank is going to be strong enough and have enough sustain with the Koga just being back there by himself?
The Koga should be okay. Koga into Grover. Koga does really well. He kind of melts Grover really fast. And then the Tyra mark for the Sky, plus fire for the point fight. I think they back to back just have a little bit more pressure across their characters. But I do believe that although the draft is slightly in their favor, I do believe that the other team play better, that they can win. I don't think this is a draft definitive win. I think either team is plausible to win this one, but the draft favor has definitely gone in favor of the Tyra squad there.
And last time we saw that Jobless's team was, even though still a better comp, they just played it better. I feel like they could have picked any 5 players and probably could have just ran it down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. The enemy got the perfect draft for a ranked game, but it doesn't matter. Jobless didn't care what they were playing against there. They just wanted to win the round.
And that could happen here as well. So we would not be surprised. Yeah, we would not be surprised. Yeah, once again, we did not see the Furia. Because of the Lilith pickup on the left-hand side of the screen right here, you can see it. I agree that that's probably the smartest decision. If you're not going to go with a second support and a second situation of a major heal, especially, then just go ahead and pick up the Lilith. And if you're more comfortable on it, especially, I think comfortability is what you've been talking about a little bit, is if you know your teammates and you know their ability to play certain champions, certain paladins, it makes the most sense just to go ahead and pick up that comfort bit instead of forcing a meta pick. You know, don't force something you can't play.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I always say this a lot of times. This is one of the things people get triggered in ranked, is very often people are like, why didn't you take this character? Why didn't you take this character? It's like, bro, let them play what they can play, man. Someone playing a character they know how to play is 100 times more effective than them playing a meta character they don't know how to play.
Yeah, and if they're picking a Zen and it doesnn't really make sense, I mean, maybe it'll be good. Who knows? I love Zen, by the way. That's one of my favorite characters. But he has seen some of the worst days as of late, not being extremely meta, but also still a good flanker. Talk to me a bit about the Tyra yet. We haven't seen her as of yet.
Amazing pick. Tyra is my favorite pick in ranked at the moment, personally. She is essentially... I don't know how to explain Tyra, actually. She's just a very consistent DPS, you know? As long as you position well with her, she's pretty hard to kill. And she has a mark, one of her talents. It doubles her marks. She gets 2 marks, and those marks give a DPS boost for your whole team. So whoever's marked, if your team focuses them, they die. And on top of that, as I said earlier, it does reveal invisible characters. So the enemy having a Skye, essentially what that means is that Skye, every single time she gets marked, she's near pointless for like, I don't even know how long it lasts, 5-6 seconds, you know? So that counterplay against the Skye is going to be very difficult, but we'll see how they play. I mean, a good Skye can work around it. But I'd be worried if I was playing a Skye right now.
I would be as well, considering the mark is the full counter, as you had just explained. And all it's going to take, right, is the mark from her, and then Koga just finds the person, the Skye, alone. I mean, they might not be in the same position on the map exactly most of the time because they're both going to be flanking the opposite sides. But
more than likely.
But if they end up meeting anywhere, it's going to be a quick kill for Koga because it's going to be more damage and the invisibility is gone. But that's going to be true for anyone on the side of blue team.
Toman again, though. Oh my god.
I think it hasn't changed the name
have
yet.
a better draft, but
no, they haven't changed the
I
name
didn't
yet.
realize it was Jobless again. Wait, no, it's not. They changed it. It's not.
Yeah. It's changed.
They changed it. Never
We
mind.
both have done that now.
Yeah. I just seen Elite on the team. It's not them ones. It's fine.
Yeah, it's so good. Man. Yeah, back to back. It looks like, we saw it in the drafts and picks. I think you named it. You said you like back to back Strathmore.
One of those moments, dyslexia moment, we'll call it. Dyslexia moment.
It's what we're doing.
Gotta
get back into the comp.
They're really good though. We got Elite. I don't know how to say their name correctly, but I know they're a very good player. Oh, it was Macaroni Pizza, right? Something like that.
Yeah, Macaroni Pizza. Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of these wonderful French teams that are doing some wonderful things. And there you go, Macaroni Pizza. And he actually did it for us in English. Thank you very much for that.
The Skye's name, and the Chinese or Japanese letters are always a fan favorite of some of the good players, so they could be 2 to look out for. But yeah, I recognize some of the Macaroni Pizza boys too.
Just get out on the site already. First blood going the way of Macaroni Pizza. Holding Palace right now. Are they bottom side? And a pause. This has happened twice in a row, but then a pause immediately. This is a new strategy coming out, and then another pause, and then an unpause, and then a pause, and an unpause coming out. Koga.
You got to confuse the enemy, you know?
The DC.
Once they're sufficiently confused. Oh no, we've had someone disconnect already. Nintendo Switch player.
Oh no, what's going on? Yeah, they got to get off the Switch, get off those Joy-Cons, get onto the PC, my guys.
Too much. What do they call it? Gyro control. The game can't
Yeah,
handle it.
too much bandwidth. The internet couldn't handle it. But
Damn, damn,
we can
damn.
talk a bit more about this. Already a first blood, but that was sadly a DC from the Tyro.
Was
We'll
it the
have to.
Tyra that died first? Yeah.
Was it? I
I
think it
can't see the
was.
respawn.
It was
Yeah,
the.
I'm not sure. Ah, well, let's pretend it was.
Might have been the
mega
Knicks,
unfortunate.
honestly. I think it was the Knicks. It was the Knicks that died.
Oh, okay then. So they stuck up the Atlas wall. I'm not sure if you know the Atlas wall. They're using the big wall talent here. It's like a time rift wall that basically shields across one whole section of the map, but you can't shoot anything through it. So playing against Atlas is very much a game of patience and recognizing the moments of which to push. Once Atlas has no cooldowns, he's dead. He's a sitting target. Once he's used his wall and his rewind, if you focus him, he dies. But it's recognizing the time periods and the flow of the game to recognize when that moment is. You know, when is it acceptable for you to push this Atlas to kill him? Okay, we're going back into the round now again here anyway. So Sky does have high ground control, but it's interesting to see Sky grouped so much with the team and not more of a flanking position. She's going down. The Tyra is pushing in. Tyra actually pushes in and dies here. That was really unfortunate positioning from her. Another big burst of damage onto the... Wow. There we go. Back to back. Very surprised. Oh. Okay, there's 5 DCs. Speed run. I was gonna say I was pretty confused as to what exactly was going on there because the Tyra just kind of walked in. It's a crash. Okay. Well then.
Yeah.
Oh, they're restarting the game. They're all bots.
I thought they were all in the same gaming house, man.
Listen, some of them play like this in rank some days, but I wasn't sure, you know.
Called them out, man. I thought they were in a gaming house and they all just had the same internet crash, man. It's the back-to-back gaming house. I didn't know that was in the middle of Paris somewhere, you know.
That's funny. Right, I guess they're having to remake the lobby, ladies and gents. Not quite sure as to why, but yeah, we'll just be patient here and we'll get this next game rocking and rolling as soon as possible for you all, ladies and gents. They remake Yoka can't join. Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much for letting us know what it was though as well. If we just take this moment, some people in chat are complaining about Discord noises. I don't know if anyone has got their Discord not on Do Not Disturb. We can hear messages coming through. I can't hear it, but streamers saying they can hear it. Just to let production know.
Enough. I don't think it's mine. I've got my headphones
Definitely
quite cleaved onto my head.
Yeah, it's definitely not mine.
But we should be getting back into game here. This is back-to-back versus our friends, the pizzas, as we're going to call them. Macaroni.
Pizza.
Hey!
Maybe that's maybe they just want to trigger the Italians. That sounds like something they might want to do. Call it macaroni pizza. Just to make anyone angry.
All these EU lads out here.
Angry pizza debate. Pineapple pizza, yay or nay? What do we think about that?
Yeah, macaronis.
What would you rather have, pineapple or macaroni on your pizza?
Oh man, don't put me in this position right now, Bees.
What would you rather? I'm making you choose one or the other.
You're putting me in a position to get. Okay, you rather do pineapple. Okay, if you're gonna say that, I'll just go ahead and join you and say pineapple as well because I was gonna say it, but I feel like because this is very much so a French-hosted Paladins tournament, I was gonna get freaking put into the ground for choosing a bad topping, you know?
No. We're all good. We're just saying if we had to choose, you know.
If we were at gunpoint.
I'm all about veggie pizzas, man. I'm a big veggie pizza fan.
I enjoy them as well. I enjoy like peppers on my pizzas. I like those are real nice. Barbecue and peppers. Ooh, those are so nice. Mushrooms. Okay.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with mushroom, can you? You literally can't go wrong with a mushroom. Right, we're back in here, ladies and gents. Macaroni and pizza, back to back again. Fingers crossed, no crashes this time. So the only thing is, do we see the same compositional pushes that we've seen already? Or do they try and mix it up now? You know, like okay, they went here, so maybe we try and do this instead. You know?
Yeah, some notes were given away.
Sky, maybe. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? They've kind of given away the positional idea of what they want to do at the start of the round. Maybe the Sky this time opt for more of a low ground position, trying to get a bit of poke damage. Because if they know where the Atlas wall is planning to be put, they can position themselves to at least put a bit of damage out around it, you know?
and I play this map plenty of times, funny enough, even though I have not played a ton of Paladins. Having that higher ground always feels better, honestly. It does not feel better for access to site, but it feels Nyx is already on the site doing the exact same thing. Atlas wall has already come down, and both teams battling it out. It seems like we're going the exact same direction, but this time back to back is opting to push them at the bottom side.
Yeah, as I said, they kind of knew where the Atlas was thinking to put the wall and have tried to position a little bit differently. I mean, as you said, the high ground control is phenomenal. You know, any game, high ground control is fantastic. But if you know that high ground control is putting you in the opposite side of an unbreakable shield, maybe don't go there, you know? It hasn't really worked in their favor, though. Macaroni Pizza got a clean wipe and are taking the advantage on the point now.
Back at site right now are back-to-back, having to go ahead and try to hold their side of the map. We're going to go ahead and change the names because it's on the opposite side. So congratulations.
Man, I mean, this is what we get about pizza. This is what we get for talking about Macaroni Pizza.
Yeah, we really did talk bad about it because we chose pineapple instead of the macaroni, and so it will go Pizza's way instead, and back-to-back are holding it at a current 60%, pushing them the way into their own base. Pizza not feeling too good right now, but pushing back they are right now.
Sky getting a nice little bit of damage out there, but I think some of it was circumvented by the Khan shield. They do get 2 pickups here. This is fantastic. Retake from them, actually. Lilith in the back line trying to survive. It does have Koga in front of her, but Koga opted not to push her right now. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it would have been a good idea to push Lilith here. Oh, it's because Lilith is his friend. Terrible idea then. It would have been to have shot the Lilith. I thought Lilith was red because she had red blood health.
No, not exactly.
Bad. That's my fault. I mean, look here, no joke. Sky's got red health because she's red team, and then Lilith has blood health.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's red team. That's my bad, ladies and gents. That's a bee's bad there. As you can see here, Koga on the Grover. This is what I was speaking about the last round when I was talking about Koga being a real good ability to shred through Grover. He's one of the easier supports I find to kill when I'm playing as a Koga. Double dash from the Koga, but he does actually go into the wall instead of getting up the stairs. Does manage to survive, though, with some real nice clutch healing there. And that's going to be point number 1 in favor of our boys Pizza.
Pizza coming back from that one because that was for sure going the way of back-to-back, 80% in their direction. This will be a good push on them, but we already see that back-to-back's already pressuring out a good amount and has sight once again, not letting the team get there. They got the sight, but did not get the push. If you're on the side of Pizza right now, probably reset and let's go ahead and try to get to this point.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely worth them right now. Just taking a little edge back. Saying that, though, they have actually just picked up a kill. The Tyrant and the Koga putting out a significant amount of damage. If they keep this pressure up, they should be able to regroup whilst getting a little bit of a push as well. That's the dream scenario, at least. I do think they're all back here now. Nice. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So they're actually just holding them out. They don't want to let them through. The more map pressure they take from them at this point, the better for them, because obviously the less push they get throughout the entirety of it, it's just going to put more and more pressure onto them as the match progresses.
This Khan 1v1 is very interesting. Shielding versus no shielding is kind of not the way that you want to see it. Grover will be the first to fall, and then our friend Gross will also fall here. Trade back for the Atlas, and then a 4-man wipe is going to be the story for Pizza as of right now. They cannot get out of their base to get to their point cap.
Yeah, this is a rough situation for them. And I feel like maybe this just goes to show that back-to-back kind of made a little bit of a mistake on the point fight there. They maybe didn't think it was going to get capped as quick as it did. Because the pressure they're outputting now is quite impressive. Although you do see this sometimes. Sometimes the point fight goes one way and then the defense or push goes a completely opposite way, and it doesn't necessarily dictate how the rest of the game will go either, you know. It's looking now like back-to-back have woken up and they're going to dominate, but you never know. Next point fight, they could still easily lose the next one again.
Atlas yeeted a man off the map right there. That was one of the farthest throws I've ever seen in my life, because that guy was trying to fly backs, you know, Super Smash Bros. Style, but it was not edge fighting there at all. It was more...
He had 200% HP. He was well over the threshold.
Yeah, for sure. It was just going to be a long and big throw there. And this is a 14-second push. If Pizza's got to do it, they got to do it now. But they're all 5 in base still. No sneakies around the corners. No backlines have been able to get through this front line. And so this is probably going to be a 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, most certainly. Back-to-back have a fantastic example of angle holds here and just completely swamping Pizza. and keeping them in the base. Pizza, though, they do get an extra 300 credits for being the ones that captured that point. So that is a slight advantage in their favor of item pickups. Back to back have also been forced to get a lot of Illuminate. But you see those Illuminates coming online? That's
Oof.
death to Sky. That Sky's game is over now. All of those Illuminates, she's not getting away with surprising anyone anymore, you know?
And Lilith not getting it doesn't matter because the Tyra having the mark, as you said, is just enough already. That's going to compensate for the one missing illumination. So what are you going to do if you're Sky? You're not going to do anything. I'm excited to see her damage numbers after this game to see if she was able to actually put out some damage and match up with the Koga.
Yeah, she should do. She should, just because she's percentage based, she should do serious damage. But then at the same time, Koga's damage is
unreal.
Is very strong. Yeah, we see the Nyx ult coming out here. It does actually get the stun off onto the Khan, but these healing numbers through the Khan shield from the Liv are absolutely ridiculous. Plus a little self-sustain from his shout there. Looking really. This is what I mean, though. Again, look at the fate. Look, Pizza's just. How do you see someone get forced into base that much and then reverse force on the back? That's what I'm saying. It's so weird how the flow of the match changes depending on which section of the match we're playing.
Oh, but there you go. Back to back will show again why they held the base so strong. They're at the point now, and they can probably do this again if they wanted to, but already down pretty low. But thanks to the healing of Lilith, there's no problem from the Khan as well as the Atlas will be able to survive throughout this. But Sky is playing more like a damage player than a flank, it seems like to me.
Yeah, I think she's just trying to get this poke damage out of range until her team are getting into a little bit of a better position. Plus, again, with those Illuminates that have come online now, she really has to play very safe. They've already lost their Nyx. Pizza. Sky's going to have to do something here. Koga's in their back line. That's a fantastic ult from Grover. Grover just saved both those players there. That could have been an easy kill for the Koga to get both those, and he still manages to get it. Oh my lord, Grover trying to fall back here. It's not looking good for Pizza anymore. They've lost two of their main characters here. I don't even think they have the opportunity to touch without the Azan ult right now, and that is going to be a point for back-to-back. Now we see if they keep the pressure. If they have the same pressure they did last round, this is going to be a 3-1.
This is going to be very easy for them as well. I don't expect to see Pizza hold up a large defense unless they can start to get to it right now. They have to move forward, but back-to-back is already pushing them all the way back into their base. And it's probably not feeling too good if you're this character we're watching right now, Grossa, because she is struggling to find sustain throughout Koga and multiple other players from back-to-back who are just running them down. Will fall right there as well as, but here comes a push from Pizza. Will get the reverse one-man sweep onto back-to-back, and then Tyra Ultimate will come out to try to make some more room for Pizza. The fall of Nyx again will be the name of the game, as well as Sky will fall once again. 5 members strong for back-to-back, only 3 standing for Pizza. Pizza should go ahead and die here as quickly as possible to hold another defense.
It's odd. They're not recognizing when they've got a win, and they're pushing too hard to continue the win, and then in the reverse, just kind of screwing themselves. You know, they got a couple picks. They had a moment to regroup, to get themselves ready, set up for a good defense, but pushed in, let 2 of them die, and now they kind of put themselves on the back foot. But they're actually holding here. Fair play to them. They might lose one here. No, they trade the Koga ult for the Grover ult there for the life of the Sky, but they end up losing the Octavia anyway. Oh, this is going to be tough for them to hold here. They're going to need to get some pressure from somewhere, but I don't know where that pressure is going to come from.
Yeah, this Koga has way too much pressure right now. We've seen 3 kills in a row coming from Bayonetta alone, which is what you want if you have a Koga on your team. You don't want Koga running away the entire time. You want Koga getting kills, Tyra getting the kill on the Nyx again. This Nyx has not had an opportunity to do anything. Payload a couple meters away from the point in which it is supposed to be. We expect to see a drop down here from Pizza in a couple of seconds. Will be it. There it is, holding it, but will not be enough, as this guy will fall once
again. That went on an adventure, bro. That Azar went so far into the enemy backline on a defense when they were actually having it getting pushed in. Like, that was a clear example of someone that staggered themselves out into a really poor position when they could have just died and potentially respawned to help the defense. That did not go well for them whatsoever.
There's your damage numbers on the left side of the screen, and that's probably why it did not go well for them. You can see the 2 damage dealers from back-to-back. Tyra and man, 10,
Bumping up numbers.
102,000 and 76,000. That's a big difference between the two spaces right there, though, because we have a 30,000 damage difference. Tyra still getting the kills that she needs to get. 100% on the ultimates for 4 members of back-to-back, only on Azaz on the side of Pizza. So this should be an easy point for back-to-back if they can use their ultimates correctly.
Oh, 100%. Our advantage is in huge favor, especially with that Carno. The Carno is should be a free execution again, as long as it's used well. We do see the Zarno, so the Atlas ult getting used here, just kind of helping them get better positional pressure against them. One of them's fallen low already. The Octavia is very lit. Sky looking like she's going to fall now here as well, and that is going to be a pickup on the Sky. And they still have 2 of these ultimates, especially the Carno, one of the greatest ults in the game, and they still have that available alongside the Tyra ult. Pushing past the Carno, they should get a free kill for that. And then pushing past the Tyra ult, the amount of damage they should put out, whoever's touching should die fast. And then they got the Cobra ult. If they do not win this point fight, they have severely messed up. Like, severely. There we go. There's the Carno, which is a free kill. They're using the Cobra ult just to hold them out. He actually threw them towards the point. Why did you do that?
Because they do not care, dude. They do not care. They threw him right into the ground as well to the entire team. That was great job there.
If the Atlas had dash left, there was potential from that angle throw for Atlas to touch there. To touch, he could have ulted, waited for OT, touched again. He could have. I'm just saying he could have, all right?
Yeah, he could have, but did he?
The perfect world. No, he didn't. He didn't.
Well, well done there.
Angry old man shouts at Carno.
Yeah, Connell and walks right towards him as well. It's one of the best ideas you have. If you're playing ranked today and you want to make your team very happy, pick Con and throw him right to the point. That's exactly what you want to do, especially if you're playing with Bees, because Bees would be queuing right after this game. I bet you money. Queue the EU servers.
QEU, take Khan, and then when we're about to win, Khan ult someone onto the point so they can test for you. That's the plan. Trust me, it works. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's what you do, right? That's what you recommend doing.
Always. That's my number one strategy. That's why I got GM this year. Just
so you got GM.
Them onto the point. Come here, boys. Come to
that's
the point.
What Nip Coach 2019 says. Number 1 champion. Oh man, that's not what you want to be doing, guys. You want to be throwing them away. Keep that in mind if you're gonna have the cap going on. But it does not matter because the victory will go their way. The ability to play Con and to play Atlas at the same time probably was all it took, and the story was told basically. So from point number 2, I would say the story was told as far as back-to-back goes.
Yeah, they had the pressure. They as I said, they knew they'd lost the point fight already with the Inara ban and the next pickup. So as I said, they just did the next best thing. If we're not going to win the point fight, we'll win the rest of the map, and they played it very well. The Atlas Wolves were using very concise manners to make sure a lot of the map was cordoned off for them and safe for them, which gave Koga a lot of freedom. And then the output of damage from Tyra on top of that. I don't think there was a whole lot they could do to be honest. As soon as they got the Tyra versus the Sky, to be honest with you, in my mind, it was GG.
Yeah, it was curtains, game over at that point. And you had your Grover was also not doing much. If you wanted to pick a support, I think you probably should have picked something that would have allowed for a little bit more peel for your team, even though he does have the Axe stun. Does not really matter. The Axe slow at that. And if you would, it's not going to be enough for peeling out a Sky who was playing basically damage Sky. The flank was there for back-to-back, but it was not there on Pizza, which is not what you want.
It was definitely hard though. I really don't think it's definitely a draft disadvantage. I don't believe the Sky could have done anything in that situation to have made it better for themselves. The reveal from the Tyra, and then as well having the Grover heals, which are radius-based heals, with a character like Sky is very difficult, because if that Sky wants to flank, she doesn't have mobility like other flanks have. She doesn't have the ability to just dash from one side of the map to the other. So if you're out of position with that Sky and you take damage and you need Grover heals, you have to walk from one side of the map to the other side of the map. You think you're going to get away with that? Because the answer is you're not. You're not. So you've got 2 choices. Play that backline Sky that we've seen, or try and attempt to flank, but the chances of it going well are pretty slim, to be honest.
So yeah, she played it as best as she could that entire time.
Yeah, I don't know what on earth she could have done in that situation to make
not pick Sky.
Yeah, honestly, not pick. I think the Sky was A semi decent. I don't know though. Honestly, I actually maybe don't think it was. Sky
I think
into Lilith is straight garbage because by percentage damage doesn't affect Lilith because Lilith has blood health, so it only affects her real health. Atlas, I think it's kind of okay. Khan, I wouldn't want it because Khan has 2 methods to just negate the damage, and then so does Koga with his dash, and then I think pretty much he was as countered as you could potentially be, to be honest.
Countered it is, but we will see you guys. We're going to take a 15-minute break, I think exactly what I'm seeing from our friend Quentin, who will switch our thing in a second here. But we will see you in about 15 minutes for more Smite action. Not Smite, Paladins action, excuse me. Smite, baby!
Smite me, almighty smiter. They still hear us? Hey guys.
What's up? Let's play some Smite. Woo! Paladins, woo!
Y baby, no miento que tú estás buena. Por tus ojos, el peligro vale la pena.
Latest designer, get it for you.
Tranqui conmigo tú estás bien.
Get it for you.
Dueña mi corazón.
What can I do? Tell me how would you do?
Maldigo el tiempo sin tu amor.
Tell me how would you do? Oh, yeah.
So let go.
Cuando tú no estés bien, llama al celular. Si estás triste sin mí, te paso a buscar.
I cannot do. I am losing control. I want you on my moto. I won't ride you solo.
So let go. So let go.
Ça dit quoi? Pense qu'à faire du bénéf.
On fait pas dans le détail, tu veux ma part, mais dans tes rêves.
On dit quoi? J'suis rabat, garde la pêche. Gucci, Fendi, j'me prends pas la tête.
J'suis avec mes stars là, elle veut venir à ma table. Où veux-tu qu'on aille? Je veux rester dans le club. On descend bas et puis on boit à ta santé. On descend bas et puis on boit à ta santé.
1, 2, 3 soleils. Mon gars, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter.
1, 2, 3 soleils. Ma belle, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter.
Ici c'est la jungle, nous qu'a fait l'argent. L'argent des gens nous rendent monsieur l'agent.
C'est la jungle, nous qu'a fait l'argent. L'argent des gens nous rendent monsieur l'agent.
1, 2, 3 soleils. Mon gars, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter.
1, 2, 3 soleils. Ma belle, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter. Ça dit quoi? J'allume la pète, j'suis bon qu'à ça.
J'embrasse le compas et quand j'arrive, je blinde la salle.
On arrive par derrière et la sécu libère le passage.
C'est moi qui mène la danse, c'est la débauche qui gère le cassage. Raconte pas tes salades, tu peux pas financer. J'suis dans les merdes, tu veux faire l'ancien. Tu fais la hure, tu prends la pure, mais tu te fais garante. Tu fais la hure, tu prends la pure, mais tu te fais garante. 1, 2, 3 soleils. Mon gars, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter.
1, 2, 3 soleils. Ma belle, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter.
Ici c'est la jungle, nous qu'a fait l'argent. L'argent des gens nous rendent monsieur l'agent.
C'est la jungle, nous qu'a fait l'argent. L'argent des gens nous rendent monsieur l'agent.
1, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter. 1, 2, 3 soleil. Ma belle, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter. 1, 2, 3 soleil. Mon gars, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter. 1, 2, 3 soleil. Ma belle, si tu bouges, tu vas finir me noter. Me noter.
you can afford to not be lousy, go and do shit. Talk your shit about me, I can easily disprove it. It's stupid, you follow me, but you don't really care about the music.
Baby, if you like it, just reach out and pay it. This one doesn't bite it, doesn't get aggressive. Show you how to touch it, hold it like it's precious. It don't need your loving, it just needs attention. It needs affection. Hungry, it needs attention. It needs affection. Hungry, it needs.
Look at me. I'm naked. Vulnerability earned me a lot of bacon. I put a dongle in my ass.
Should be pretty smooth actually if you know all of these things in the production side. That's I'm just. Oh, hello! I'm on a screen. Hello, ladies and gents. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
I'm as surprised as you are, guys. But welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you very much for your patience there, as we took a short little break. We've had a little look at the games that are coming up in the next round, and hopefully we've picked out a really good one. Fingers crossed here, guys. We should have a real nice game for you guys coming up in just a moment.
What do you know about these two teams? I think we can go ahead and say if we do end up getting Sophia versus Monkey, which is being played right now, there are some strong teams on both sides of this, and I think that you might know some. We got Fro, Etsu, and a couple others on these are EU teams,
yeah.
so these are all your guys.
Yeah, if we got Fro and Etsu, I know the rest are going to be amazing on that team as well. If that's Monkey, and then Sophia is the name, you know. Sophia's the name that, you know, in the bracket. If Sophia's on the other side of the bracket, that's the name you go, whoo, thank God, you know. Like, I'm not going to say they win every tournament, but their track record is it speaks for itself. You know, they are a very good team. And Monkey, if it's Fro and Etsu, I can just tell Monkey's a good team anyway. They've gone 4-1 earlier, and they went 4-2 versus Full Defense, which is the team that Bugsy was playing on, which is a good team. So if they're competing against those guys, then they should definitely have a good chance versus Sophia. But yeah, some of the names you'll see here now are some of the you could consider the best remaining players in the game.
That's perfect, and we'd love to see them in round number 3. We still got 2 more rounds after this, round number 4, round number 5, or if you want to call them tours. And yeah, this is a good game to have during this exact round. This is only for placements as of right now, but once we get to the 24th and 25th of this month, we will see a little bit more strict play, a little more tournament play style. A couple of certified people. You're correct. These are some big names. Nick and
Nosy,
Crunky,
Crunky is one of the old school pro players that still plays the game from like the old PPL days. Nosy is regarded as one of the better players in the game, full stop. Nick is one of the best controller players in the game. Nada is the absolute ranked monster. And Turtles is a turtle. So, I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you don't have to talk about these people as people. You can talk about their picks.
Dude. He's just a turtle.
Just a turtle turning around.
This round should be absolutely fantastic. Again, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility that this couldn't be a 4-0. The draft could go one way, or, you know, sometimes the way the flow of the match goes, even though both teams are phenomenal, it can still be a 4-0. But fingers crossed, this should be a very high tier game now.
New map again. We get it a bit different. These team names are not the ones that you're watching right now. This is 2 different teams that probably Quentin will fix here in just a moment. We have
no more macaroni pizzas. We've had enough of the macaroni pizza.
Yep.
We demand more pineapple.
Give us more. But speaking of that, I saw our wonderful little, what would be called an Overwatch Torbjorn, but I think it's in this game called Barrack. That is an unusual pick that we have not seen today, the Red-Bearded Man.
The Red-Bearded Man, Barrack. Yeah, he's in a weird situation. He's kind of had the same treatment as Makoa had, in that because the hit scan controller characters have become so meta, Barrack is a very easy headshot character. He has a big head plodding around on that little body, so that ease of ability to headshot him definitely has reduced his effectiveness in the meta, I would say. He was an absolute beast for a period, though. He was one of the best point tanks in the game for a while.
And then we see an Inara in this game as well as another Koga. This is the 4th game in a row we've seen a Koga. Koga is so strong as the flank that we're not surprised at all to see him. We see a little more of a split play coming out from Monkey here, and the immediate fly out from our wonderful player here, Tarek.
Yeah, doing a good job holding some pressure. They do actually get the first pick onto Nadit, so things going in favor of Monkey here. This is really one of those rounds that I didn't want to speak and say one team is definitely going to beat the other team, because this could go either way. Loving to see the Maeve play here. So Maeve is always a good character, but always a difficult character to play. She's one of those ones, if you're a good Maeve's usefulness is a direct correlation of how well you can play her, you know? So those god-tier Maeves make her a god-tier character, but typically speaking, we don't see her all that much. So I'm very happy to see her being picked up for a round here.
It's one of those situations we were talking about in the previous match where, well, speaking of that, almost getting the kill on the Bomb King, but will not end up getting it. Falls asleep for just a second there, had to take a nap. But will wake up and go back into the fight. This is a situation of possibly a player that has I'd rather not play Koga, but I'm a really good Maeve. I can play this champion very well. And we had talked about that last match, how we don't want people playing champions that they do not play well just because they're in the meta, just like people do in ranks.
Yeah.
We want them playing things they're comfortable on. That's exactly this. And there's the Fiora beam coming out, will not land onto anyone. And Sophia is pushing back onto Monkey right now, even though Monkey has capped the point. So this is a situation of we probably need to back up, reset if we're Monkey, and take a bigger fight 5v5, which looks like what they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's looking good for them here. At least they're managing to hold on for a defense. I'm not too keen on the Torvald pick, if I'm going to be honest. It's a character that, on paper, there's a lot of situations that it should just be really, really strong and broken. But in practice, I'm just not feeling the effectiveness of the Torvald anymore. Very surprising to see Nosy on it as well. I've got Nosy and Crunky on the tanks here, which is very... I mean, Crunky did transition over to being more of a tank-based player, despite his skills on DPS and flank. But Nosy, certainly seeing him on a tank pickup is quite surprising. He's normally known as quite the hyper carry.
Would you expect Inara to switch over to him instead of going the way that it is right now?
Oh, no. They have such a composition on their team that any one of them could play anything they wanted, to be perfectly honest with you. So I think it's more just a situation of who was more comfortable on what to take the draft that they wanted. But I'm not too keen on the draft, to be honest. I just don't like Torvald. I really don't. I don't think Torvald is doing as much as he should be doing in general. I'm not saying that Nosy playing it isn't doing as much. I think the character itself is not doing as much as people would be expecting him to do, especially into something like a Koga. Koga just absolutely shreds him.
It's all on stacking the Inara and the Torvald ult. If you can get it off, it does do very well. Speaking of Inara, will find herself in a very rough position. Crunky will fall here while trying to defend the payload. Being pushed right into the base of Sophia right now. We got a big old sniper up here trying to fade off a Maeve and a Barrack at the exact same time. Get a couple more picks, but right now looking strong. Ultimate will be used. Will land on the 2 players. Do enough Barrack. Barrack is feared as of right now, but will not end up falling. Shield was good and Steel is good. Standing by himself, though, is Barrack right now. Will end up falling. This is a good hold right now for Sophia.
Fantastic hold, honestly. It looked a bit shaky there. The Octavia ult came out just moments before the Barrack ult came out. Octavia ult is kind of a direct counter to Barrack's ult, so losing that just as he used it could have been a little bit of a detriment, but still fantastic hold from these guys here now as well. I'm not quite sure what item pickups I really want to see here, to be honest. So I want to see the Octavia start getting some Rekka. Do we want to see some resilience? We actually see a double flank here as well, actually. This is something I said earlier as well, that I'd be much more likely to see double flank over double backline, but we actually have both. Monkey's playing the double flank, and Sophia's playing the double backline here. So
yeah, looks like you were correct with some of the wreckers, by the way.
They're picking up the wreckers. Yeah, I think you kind of need it just to kind of burn this Barrack a little bit easier. Nada only has the 1, Etsu has 2, and the Koga has another one as well. So one of the things for Koga is he has these 3 charges of energy that he uses. It's called adrenaline, and that makes him move faster. You can build decks that give you ammunition recharge and other things like that when you use this adrenaline. And that adrenaline charges on how much damage you do. But that scales with Rekka. So by playing against the Torvald, if you get a load of Rekka on the Koga, it's going to allow you to get all of your adrenaline back a lot faster, because it only counts how much damage you do, not what you're doing the damage to. So it's actually kind of helps the Koga in the long run once he starts getting the Rekka, even more so than it takes away from the Torvald. It's very good for the Koga to be picking up this Rekka.
Yeah, and he is finding himself in really good positions to get some kills here. And wow, the pushback onto Sophia. Octavia will fall here, as well as Torvald already falling as well. Big ultimates coming out from Ozan, still holding on to the ultimate right now, ready to use if need be, helping his Inara. This is not the comp that you want to see in the, if you are on Monkey right now. Yeah, that poor Nara.
Tried so hard and got so far.
Oh, still sustaining.
Never mind. It does matter. No, wait. No, it still doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter. Etsu, though, as well. The fact that he was actually able to survive there. The fact that Nara is still alive now to have just got a touch. The Bomb King ult coming out. The Fury ult coming out. They got so much damage right now. They need to make something happen. And they are making something happen. Now he gets one. Torvald picks up another. Nick picks up another. Oh, my God. That was a masterclass of gaming. That was a guaranteed loss into one of the cleanest retakes I've seen. That was incredible.
Yeah, from Bomb King Ultimate to Inara to the Torvald Shield, it was it was a legendary play, and you can't do much against that, especially because you had no ultimates up. We already saw that Hassan had just executed his ultimate, and it was not as effective. Barrick and all of them had already executed theirs a couple seconds before, which means that Sophia just turned around and said, all right, we're ready to go. We have 2 of ours, and we can go ahead and use Bomb King Ultimate as well as a good, good strong push from the rest of the team. Yeah, pause as of right now, but you gotta rerun through that entire fight right there for me. That was
so essentially
brilliant.
The Inara chasing the Maeve for ages. The Inara survivability there. I mean, the fact she didn't kill the Maeve, mega annoying, you know. But Etsu's a fantastic Maeve player. Did a really good job of dodging it, and he had Tarek helping him out. But the amount of time he spent chasing that Maeve to get nothing was pretty monka. The fact he survived, though, is amazing. And then he survived on top of that long enough to get the initial touch and got off point and survived, which is just, I have no idea how that came to pass. And then from there, they had the Bomb King ult into the Fury ult. Fury ult gives them increased movement speed and increased damage. And then from the back end of the Bomb King ult, which would do damage and stun them, they managed to wipe them all. And from positionings that they really shouldn't even have been getting onto the point at all. You know, they shouldn't even have been touching, really. But the fact that Inara kept them busy for so long and survived and touched, that was unbelievable. That was
we called the Inara dead 3 times, did we not?
yeah, literally. I was bloody singing Linkin Park lyrics.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Fair play. All you can say in that situation is fair play, honestly.
Fair play, and well done to Sophia. This is what they needed, and they need to go and do this push here as well to get back onto the point and win to a 3-4 lead if they 3-1 lead if they can, and that is a good stun right there. Bomb King getting first kill onto Tarek. Azan will go ahead and fall. Stun onto Maeve, who might also fall, but good dash to escape for right now and sustain. Oh,
crazy! This is what I mean. Going from that situation of being literally 1 HP, stuck in a corner, dashes out to avoid damage, hits a shot, and then again hits another shot to actually get a pick before getting picked herself. Like, it's just that level of play that you just don't expect anyone to do it, and when it gets pulled off, you know, you can't be anything but impressed. You can be mad if you want, but you should be impressed, you know?
Darn it, Maeve, why are you doing so well? A minute left here for this push. Big ultimate coming out from Octavia will help secure a good kill for Torvald, which is what you want to see, is stacking those kinds of kills. Barrick by himself alone in the back, but Maeve is out here trying to single-handedly kill Torvald back. A good trade in the way of Sophia. That's what you needed. A Bomb King throwing bombs up into the sky towards the Maeve, knowing where she is, but she is not able to get picked, and a great dash to get the kill onto the Octavia. Ultimate was not as efficient as you wanted it to be. Good stun coming out from Fiora, and that will be a good pushback onto Sophia for right now.
Yeah, really well played again from them. I mean, backwards and forwards. Sophia had a fantastic opportunity there with the kill from the Octavia ult to Torvald picking up the kill, but unfortunately that Maeve damage onto the Torvald there was just far too significant. I mean, think about that. That's a tank, and how fast that Maeve killed him there. Pretty crazy, really. They're actually going to pop ults to try and push this in. Bomb King going in aggressive, getting a lot of huge damage around this corner. Grumpy bombs the high ground to put a bit of CC pressure out, forces them all off of the high ground. Do they get the kill here onto the Maeve? It would be absolutely massive if they manage to. No, too busy focusing the Azan. I'm not quite sure if they know the Maeve is that low in that position, so you can't really blame them, to be honest. Unfortunately, Etsu picks up one, Koga picks up another, and Azan a third. And that's going to stifle the push enough to give Monkey a successful defense here.
2-2. This is a really close game and a really good choice by you to go ahead and spectate this game. You knew from the beginning this was going to be a long and strong game. This is the first game that's gone to 2-2.
Yeah,
this is not
I could
a
just tell the
4-1.
name from the name. I seen Sophia. I was like, hey, who's Sophia playing against? And then I seen the name Monkey, and I was like, that's got to be some of the Paladins boys have picked that name. Yeah, it's just one of those names, right? High tier players. That's a high tier player name, bro. Monkey.
It is. Yeah, it's like
Only
that.
the
and-
better. Do you know what I mean? Low tier players are always something like, I don't know, Angel Destroyers. You know, they're trying to look good. They're trying to sound cool. XX Snipers. You know,
Oh,
it's when
yes.
you got someone like Monkey. You know these guys. They're serious, dude.
Yeah,
The
they
worst
just
team
signed up
better
so
team,
fast.
It's always true.
They don't have time to sign up. They just say, hey, what do you guys? They don't even ask their team what they want the name to be. They say, oh, monkeys. That's it. That's the name.
What's the team? Monkey. Yeah, cool. Done.
Cool. Brilliant. We're just gonna go win this tournament real quick. Why don't we? But,
Yeah.
we've
Oh,
got to
just
talk a
gonna
little bit
beat
about
one of
Bomb
the best
King.
teams in the game. Yeah, cool. We're Monkey. No problem.
Bomb King's got a roll in here at some point soon. The site is currently the opening, and there it is. The initiation that we saw last time, but it wouldn't do nothing this time because he ran into a wall.
He actually got the Torvald shield. I like how they're using the Torvald bubble with the Bomb King. Very well timed. The Bomb King ult coming out, Bomb King, and then the Torvald bubble just as it starts to actually move to give him that little bit more survivability when pushing him with that ult. But yeah, didn't do much with it, did he? They're
Nah,
falling
not
back. They're
enough,
treating
felt like.
well here though. They got a little bit of time. They've still got 40% left cap. So they're not rushing too heavily yet. Anara gets her cooldowns, pushes back on. Couple Torvald bubbles coming out. Big damage from the Bomb King. And they do manage to get 2 picks up here. This should be enough to secure it for them.
Yeah, 69% going the way of Monkey right now, 63% away of Sophia. This should be Sophia's point, as you had just said, pushing them back into the midpoint as of right now of their side. And a thought of an ultimate that was not used, I suppose, but all right, well, that's how it goes. Sometimes Torvald will end up using his to go ahead and secure a kill, as well as Octavia will not use her ultimate, but will get a kill onto Barrack. Over here in the corner, just sniping. This is the DPS we were talking about in the first game, or the second game, I believe, where how do you answer someone that can fly and can go up into the sky and do a lot of big movements like a Maeve? Is the good answer is going to be someone like this, an Octavia on
the
DPS.
Octavias, the Victors, very good at dealing with certain characters. I mean, you see this, the Maeve peaks for a moment. She's already bloody half HP. They've got such a great job of sustaining back up before peaking, though. They're doing very well with that. Good bit of damage as well. Etsu's making this look very easy, but this level of consistency with Maeve daggers is not that simple. I say that and he misses 3 in a row. He's still doing good, I promise, I swear. Maeve's shots are not easy to hit. They're not that easy, at least for me. But that could be a skill issue, to be completely honest.
Are you a flank main, or what do you main?
I do love the flanks, yeah. I'm not maybe the best on flanks. Probably tanks would be my best role. Flanks is the role that I primarily play. I just find it more interesting. I make very stupid plays, though.
You have a lot of good information about these flanks, and this is a big, strong defense here from Monkey. They've kind of survived, but the payload has been going the entire time, and the pick onto Maeve is not a good situation to start the fight with. Octavia will come out and secure at least one, but then the trade going right that way, and the push was successful. Monkey will take it very quickly right there.
No.
Man,
Damn, one of those ones where you feel like the defense is going to be pretty strong, and then 3-4 seconds later, it's just wipe city. That's mega unfortunate. Good game though, as I said, backwards and forth as well, which was nice to see. I just genuinely think that the competitive composition of Sophia was just better in those situations. The ability to recognize the flow of the fight and to retreat and to regroup and to wait until it was better to push back in again was absolutely top tier in that one. They did absolutely fantastic there.
hey Quentin, we cannot see the stats by the way, but I think they are up. No problem.
I see. They got the black screen bug. It's pretty annoying. Consistent bug that we actually have in the game at the moment. So what we're seeing for the damage numbers, totals with 124. So yeah, the Octavia damage there is absolutely obscene. That's crazy. And then Bomb King was 114 as well. So the damage output was significantly higher from one squad in comparison to the other. But they do have the Fury ult, which is a 30% increased DPS buff every few minutes. But even still, that's a rather significant difference in damage, I would say.
The Torvald ended up working out just a little bit better than we thought it would. It was going to be a bigger issue, but instead it felt like they were able to just run at them no problem, especially with the Inara landing some big ultimates and then the Torvald stacking on top of it, and then the Octavia stacking on top of that. It felt like ultimates galore, and it felt like so many big line ultimates that just there was no way to escape because of the Maeve was off on the side trying to get some damage out, and then Grover was out on the other side trying to just go ahead and get some healing out. But the three people in the middle that were getting melted were actually Koga, Azan, and Barrack. And Barrack could only shield one time, and that's it. And then it was gone.
And then he has to use ult if he wants a little bit of extra survivability. The odd thing is, the first round, they didn't do too good with the Torvald. And Torvald is most certainly a character that gets harder to play as the game goes on, as his entire survivability is off the back of shield, his self-shield. So the more Wrecker that comes online, the more useless he should become. But it didn't seem to go that way, to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, I think just damage difference. I think that's just what it comes down to be honest. What did the Azan have? Azan had 48,000. Yeah, I guess. They did a good job, though, to be honest, by having the Inara and the Torvald. One of the things that a lot of players don't contemplate with draft is Wrecker management. If you have two characters that require Wrecker to shut down, you're only giving the enemy much better advantage by letting them take the Wrecker. So say, for example, you have Eric Fernando on your team, Wrecker becomes so valuable. But when you only have Wrecker for Torvald, it loses a fair bit of value not having any effect for Inara. But then the same is true for the other side as well. With the Azan and the Barrack, Wrecker is only affecting one of them.
Yeah, and that one that's affecting is not going to be enough in this situation. Healing, though, man, I see those two numbers because Grover actually ended up doing more healing than the Fiora, which is expected considering the AoE that Grover does have, and the fact that his team was dying much faster than Fiora's was, so there was going to be more healing output. But that was the most entertaining game of the day, funny enough. That was some strong, not really strong defenses, but really strong point competitive. We saw two 99%, two full caps basically, where it was all about who was going to touch it the last time and make it happen. I think we have one more match within Tour 3, or if you want to call it tier number 3 of this placement rounds. I think we're going to be able to watch that game, and then we're going to move on to Tour 4 and Tour 5. We've got 2 more rounds to go after this, and I'm excited to see more of those types of games, like more Sophia and more Monkey. I want to see if we can get a full defense versus one of those teams, man. That'd be a really cool game.
Yeah, they just played full defense, just played Monkey, so maybe a full defense versus Sophia.
Yeah.
But Monkey, I think, had a good showing versus full defense, so I'm not sure whether the balance would be a little too in favor of Sophia. If I was going to be completely honest, we'd have to. Or you never know whether a 4-2 was a convincing 4-2 or an easy 4-2. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you get a couple lucky defenses.
And there are stats right there.
Sophia versus back-to-back would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be a really good one. Monkey's only lost that one game. Sophia versus Jobless.
Ooh, that would be good.
Very good. Yeah, that would be a fantastic one.
Yeah, who knows? We only got 2 more rounds. We're kind of taking a gamble. We got a little bit over.
I guess it just randomly generates which teams will be against which teams.
Yeah, they got some captains, some league coordinators over here, making sure that all these games get played. Some, I think they're calling them referees, like a soccer game, or sorry, a football game for you guys.
Don't worry, I don't watch it either way, so you can call it what you want.
Hey yo. Quentin, can you go back to the standings, right at the bottom? The 3-0, the who's the top to bottom who was winning and losing game classmates. There you go. All right, so yeah, you got Sophia back to back at the top. I know that people can't see this; you can only see our faces right now, but I'll explain it to you. We got Marauders at third and Monkey at fourth with a 2-1 score. And then we got Psycho Kids, who we have not casted as of yet, and Jobless, Full Defense, Nantes Esports, all tied for a 4-way, 5-way. Oh, it's actually, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-way tie for 2-1. So we only have 2 teams right now that are still a 3-0 score, which is Sophia and Back to Back. The other teams have all at least lost one match. And so, yes, you are correct to say that Sophia versus Back to Back would probably be one of the most impressive matches of the day. We can probably whisper into our referee's ear and see if they could make it happen. Or if it doesn't happen today, you probably can join us and they will meet each other in the actual tournament play that we'll be doing, not this weekend, but the next weekend after that, the end of this month. So that'd be really cool to see.
Good to see. Good to start getting an understanding of the teams already as well. You know, before you go into the larger scale tournament, so you can kind of cherry pick, I guess, at a later date which games you want to. So which ones you want to watch, which ones might be a little bit more entertaining, so to speak. But it's very impressive that we got 7. Did you say it was 3 to 9? Oh, 3 to 10, 7.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I can't.
6 teams. 6 teams are all tied 2-1.
Yeah, a lot of teams tied out here. So I think across the next round is where we're going to start to see the standings change a little bit. Once these teams start to be poking off against each other, I think that's when we're going to start to get a few more interesting rounds, to be honest. Is there any of them that we could, any of these guys actually facing off for this next round?
Yeah, I think we have one more team coming up. The referees are trying to give us the IDs real quick for the match, which is Pro Circus Player versus Pizza. Again, we're going back to our boys, the Pizza. We're Pineapple Pizza.
Squad. All right, I'm ready for some more Pizza Squad.
I agree.
Pizza. To be fair, though, if Macaroni Pizza win this, they're in the 2-1 standing as well.
Yes, because they're delayed. They're a little bit behind on Tour 3. I think they had to delay in Tour 2 and round 2. So they're the last match.
Potentially even more coming into this third place tiebreaker between nearly 7 teams potentially after this one.
Yeah, I think how they're gonna do it is people that are tied, because this is mainly for rankings in this situation. It's kind of your trials, I would assume. I don't know exactly what you would call it. But it's the situation where you want to make sure that you don't have all the worst teams versus all your best teams. So to have competitive games. And so this is exactly what we do this for. And thankfully, it's actually been quite entertaining. One game was pretty much a smash, but otherwise, some good holds, some good strong defenses. A lot of Koga, a lot of Fiora, a lot of Grover. We're seeing a lot of very typical things that you would see in a very comp setting, but we saw the Mave last game, which is really cool. We also saw the Barrack last game, which was really cool, and we saw a couple other. We saw the Skye one game that was more of a damage Skye than a assassin Skye or a flank Skye. But we hope to see more of these Paladin champions. I want to see a Zen so badly, man.
I'm shocked we haven't seen a Zen yet, to be honest with you. The trouble is, Zen is a little bit worse against better players. Zin's strength tends to come out when he's against people that aren't as good against Zin. That's the trouble with Zin. He's a great character. He does play very well still, but the better team you face, typically speaking, the worse he does. At least I think, in my opinion, he tends to do better against players that don't really know how to play against him very well.
And most players in this championship will know how to play against a Zen, I would assume.
For sure. And most of the flank players as well would be the controller players. And the controller players, they love their hit scan, boys. Zin's a bit more of a... I'm not saying you can't play him on controller, for sure. Of course you can. Zin's more of a PC flank pickup, for sure.
Yes, 100% there, Quentin. By the way, if you can see the screen right now, Bees, we have the matchup. We literally got it.
Oh, yeah. Tour number 4, ladies and gents. We got it. We got
monkey.
it. Monkey. All right. Currently on my screen, ladies and gents, what we can see is a very large word, and the word does appear to be monkey. There you go. Oh, wait, whoa. We have Jobless, Monkey, Sophia back to back. Next. Oh, my lord.
Yeah, I think we should be able to watch both if we can get through the casting of it pretty quickly.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah. Do you think we can, Quentin? Do you think we can watch both of these, Jobless, Monkey, and Sophia back to back?
They're the games.
Yeah. Sophia back to back. If we only can get one, let's do Sophia back to back. Make sure we get it.
So this will be, for one of these teams, this will be their first loss of the tournament.
That is so cool that this worked out. Thank you so much, Whippo. You must have been listening to us, because that is a blessing that we're about to have one of the best games of the day. We already had a really good game last game with Sophia and Monkey, but this one is literally the undefeated teams, as Bees just said. So this will be their first loss in the tournament. We'll keep one of them undefeated and probably number one on the bracket to end the day. Legends. We just watched Sophia play, and we already watched back-to-back play as well. Both very dominant teams with a little bit of different play styles. We saw that back-to-back like to play off-site a bit more, and Sophia was much more aggressive and upfront with their play style.
I think as well, both of the teams can do a multitude of styles as well. I think that's what makes them so good. I don't think they are cast into playing a specific manner. It's going to be based upon whatever they get out of the draft. And what I think would be interesting for those guys is they're the most likely to have an atypical draft. They're the most likely to know what they can take into any scenario without it being a negative. You know, they can take things that look weird, but they know why it works. And they'll still show the dominance of something that isn't necessarily supposed to be that good, you know?
I do kind of know generally what you mean. It's just about the draft and about what they can get up and pick. If they can get the champions that they want, and we saw with Sophia, it was they had the Inara, correct? They had the Inara and the
and the Torvald, the Inara was them, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, is that comp just felt like there was no way to get through it. I already said it at the end of last game. And so if they could do something like that again, but back-to-back could answer with a very, either high damage comp to shred those types of things, or just respond with a double tank of their own and tank so much damage. I want to see another Makoa, because I think they were in our first game, back-to-back was, where they pulled out the Makoa and kind of ran it down, I feel like. Or was that, because that was... Or was the Dragos that they had? I forget exactly which one it was in game one.
No, I can't remember which team that was now, if I'm going to be honest with you.
It's all good. It's been a while.
I remember.
I'll bring up the bracket and look at it to see if I can't align myself with where we were. I think our first game was... our first game was Project Delta and Full Defense, I think. Full Defense. Was that because it was your pro friend, or was it the back-to-back and the dudes? I don't think we watched that game, though.
We did not know. Definitely Full Defense was the first one we watched. That was the one with Bugsy on the squad, 100%.
Yeah, so we have watched.
And that was the game we had the Makoa versus the Dragos in that one. Yeah, the Makoa played fantastic in that one though as well. Again, it really depends upon. I don't know, Crunky as well. Crunky from Sophia is regarded as being one of the best Makoa players. Full stop. He's the only person who's made Makoa work in metas that Makoa doesn't work. He's the only one who consistently played that character no matter what, and made it look really strong. And I think Makoa is stronger now than when Crunky used to play it, but still I don't think Makoa is as good in the meta right now as some of the other picks can be. Just his headshot potential on Makoa, it's just too easy.
Especially for console players.
That character, it's honestly one of the simplest things in the game to do. It's just
It says you pro player, you so good.
You aim assist abuser.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling you out for it, man. But I love Makoas. I love seeing it, but I'm happy to always see different types of off tanks and different main tanks. We saw the Torvald last game. That's one that you were surprised.
We've seen Khan, we've seen Azan, we've seen Atlas, we've seen Makoa. I think we've pretty much covered all the bases for the off tanks at the moment now. I'm not sure if there's anyone else we could see. There's no way we see Yago. Actually, saying that, Crunky plays a mean Yago, but I'd be very shocked. I'd be shocked to see Yago. We might see a Realm, but Realm is so heavily... Oh, Ruckus, that's something we could definitely see. Ruckus is something we could, even especially on Ascension Peak, you could definitely see a Ruckus coming out here. I now have French words on my screen.
Zooming in on stuff. But yeah, I would love to see some different off tanks. I would love to see some main tanks. I would love to see generally different champions would be great. How do you feel about, is Tiberius really strong right now, or Strix? Are they feeling any good?
Strix is amazing in the hands of a controller player. Strix is unbelievably good, I think, personally, at the moment. In the hands of a controller player, he does absolute ridiculous numbers. And he's actually quite good at counter flanking. Because as long as he can land a shot before the flank has taken up most of the space of the map, the chances of him then winning the trade is pretty high. So he's as effective as the player with that character. You know, there's some characters that they get a lot of leeway with skill level. Strix is not one of those ones. If you do not hit every shot, not going to do so good. But if you're capable of doing that, then yeah, he's a powerful pick. Map dependent though, for sure. Map dependent. You could see him on Ascension Peak though. You could definitely see him here on this map. It'd be a later pick. It'd be something that would be chosen once the enemy has already locked in a damage or a DPS. So more of a counter pick, I would call the character.
Ooh, and we are getting into the game, and I'm glad you were talking about counter picks, because one of the things we have not seen as of yet that we thought we would see was 100% going to be the Lex. Excuse me, the Lex. We have not seen any Lexes yet.
Yeah, has he been getting banned as well? I don't even know if he's been getting banned or whether he's just bloody... Just
we're
not
about to find out
all that much, to be honest with you. Maybe some people have kind of gotten used to playing against him and don't find him so threatening anymore, or maybe he's been getting banned and I haven't been paying too much attention to the bans. Either one is completely a viable choice. I wonder what they're going to be banning first here. So it's Sophia banning first in this draft of Sophia versus back-to-back.
I think they play for the Inara, man. I think they play for the Inara again if they can get it.
They always, if you can get it, you take it with the Inara at the moment. She's just... Her healing numbers are just a bit too obscene, to be honest with you.
This is the first time on... Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. The thing is as well is the more your support can heal, the more your support is getting ults. And support ults are some of the most impactful in the game. So even that increased healing that keeps your tank alive is furthermore increased in value because you're actually getting more ultimates out of the healers as well.
And that makes total sense because you're just getting more out of, if you have the big ultimates, especially if you can get them. That's what the Inara has. Exactly. You're just telling the tale of what Inara is. And as you can see, we're on Ascension Peak this time. Is this the first time we've been on this map, I think?
For today, yeah, this is the first time we've had an Ascension Peak map. This is a very good map for some of the ranged DPS characters. So the Victors, the Canissas, the Strix, again, Octavia. Those long-range DPS picks are very potent on this map, because the flank routes are either very visually direct, as in you can see them coming, or they have to take a very extended route around to try and get a quotation surprise flank. But then even still, you've got quite a long line of sight from the area that you appear at as well. So it's quite a good map for long-range DPS. But it all comes down to map pressure at the end of the day, to be honest. You can have the best range DPS, but if you have no pressure elsewhere, it doesn't really work out for you.
Doesn't add up. You can't do both of those at the same time.
Exactly.
Come on, let's pick a Grok. Someone pick a Grok. I dare you.
Oh, my lord.
That'd be trolling.
If they had a Grover, a Grok could work. I've been playing with the Grok quite consistently recently. And his healing is just a bit too slow. He can get good healing numbers, but the burst healing that you're losing out on it doesn't really add up. It seems we have a little 2-minute delay here, ladies and gents, in the draft. So thank you very much for your patience and bearing with us while we wait through that. Hopefully this won't take too long, and we'll get on to the drafting phase. Hard to talk about a game without the draft, you know?
It is, isn't it? Because we don't know.
Fantasy land right now.
Yeah.
Could literally be anything they pick up.
There are so many champions on the screen right now and so many options that you could do as far as comps go. But I don't expect anything but a surprise to happen here. But I do want to see, again, I think the Maeve might actually be something. I think if you can start flexing some flanks, even though the Koga has been working for almost every single team that has played it, I think that if you can flex some of these flanks around and start switching it up and maybe doing some new things, you might catch a team off guard. And that's the situation with Sophia and back-to-back. One of these teams is going to have to do something big this game that's going to be different than what they've been doing in the past games, because this is going to be the most competitive game they have right now. I mean, it's been working up until now, you know, right? They're both 3-0, so they haven't lost a game yet. So whatever they're doing works.
Completely agree. If there's going to be a round to throw a spanner in the works, so to speak, this is definitely the round to do it. You can't really play the best of the best with standardized tactics.
True.
And expect for them to work as well as they should against other teams, you know, because standard things don't really tend to work against good players, because they know exactly what you're trying to do, and they know exactly how to counteract that play style or that level of play.
Someone's got to pull out this Ruckus. I'm saying it, man. The Ruckus, the Grok. Have some fun with it.
This is a big pick, honestly. Very strong pick.
Well, I'm glad I'm saying it, because I enjoy playing Ruckus myself. I think it's one of those. It's a great off tank that can just kind of, just melt someone within an instant. Melt someone within an instance if needed, and especially when you have a couple squishies on the team. So I think we pick a Ruckus later in the comp here if you're on Team Sophia, because you have so many skilled players. But the same for back to back, could go either way. And if that can happen, then you're in a good situation. But it's all about team comps in this game. Same for this, same for Smite, same for Overwatch, same for any game you play, especially games like Valorant even, because all these champions have different abilities. And if you can stack those abilities right, like we saw Sophia do with the Torvald, the Inara, and the Octavia in the previous game, then if they can run that back, not at that exact comp, but something of the sort where you can stack a lot of big ultimates, then you're probably in a good place to just be able to run it down again. But back-to-back is going to push back, ironically enough, with a name.
Yeah, I can definitely see a lot of pressure from Sophia on this map, same as we've seen in the last maps. I don't know if there's anything I'd love to see them playing, to be honest. I'd love to see some... If we go with the Ruckus that you're looking for, I'd love to see some kind of high mobility game. Some Ruckus Vartu or something could be fun to watch. Eevee, yeah, Ruckus, Eevee, Ruckus, Vartu, something like that could be a lot of fun. I do love seeing the Koga picks, because I love to play the Koga as well. So it's nice to get a little bit of affirmation that the characters that you're picking a lot in ranked are as good as you believe they are. You know what I mean? Because something could be good in casuals or ranked, and you're like, yeah, this is good, but maybe it's not competitively good. So I am enjoying seeing the Koga coming out. It's crazy to think a lot of these characters have already been nerfed from their previous strength levels. Like Koga, for example, has gone through quite significant amounts of nerfs over the years, and oh my lord.
Are you getting tired of Koga?
Not necessarily getting tired of Koga. It's just variety's nice, isn't it?
It is nice.
It's just nice sometimes, especially in tournament settings. I mean, we've seen it earlier. We've seen the same map twice in a row, and we're thinking, it'd be nice to see a little bit something different. I think the same goes for the Koga. He's not got the most interesting play style either. There's not really a whole lot about his kit that's all that interesting, I would say personally. I think he's got a cool flank kit, but all he really does is make himself run a little bit faster and shoot people. That's all he really does. And then, of course, he has his little dashes as well. But hey, look at that. So we see our first ban coming through from Sophia, and that is going to be a Talus ban and then an Eevee ban for back-to-back. So we are seeing a controller-focused ban from Sophia, and then back-to-back going more with a PC-focused ban. I think with Sophia as well, though, we did see Nadit on the Bomb King that round, so he's definitely someone you need to be worried of, and I do know that his Eevee is something that you definitely don't want to be facing if you have the choice.
I think if you're also on the side of back-to-back, you're thinking, we can't ban out the tanks. We can't ban out the front line whatsoever. There's going to be no way.
Can't get away with it. I mean, you might go with an Inara ban just to make sure that nobody has it, but you couldn't. No, you couldn't ban out enough to make it worth your while, to be honest.
Yeah, so you're going to be focusing out the more high skill, and the Azan is going to be probably the smart ban here. They really don't like that.
Torvald, yeah, they got rid of it.
I'm very surprised by that, because you were, I think it must be a pocket pick or something that's like a part of that comp, because it did work very well, as I said multiple times. In the previous game, it was just stacking of ultimates was the thing, and there's the Inara pick. I'm not surprised. I don't think you're surprised either to see that happen for Sophia, because it's still open.
Not at all. I'm trying to rack my head around in that situation whether I would personally go with the Inara ban or the Torvald ban. I think these guys are definitely more versed in this style of drafting than myself at this point. I've only been playing ranked now for the last few years, but still the potency of the Inara in comparison to the counter ability of the Torvald, I'm not sure if it adds up in favor for me to ban the Torvald, but we'll see. We'll see how the game goes on. I just feel like I definitely would rather the enemy have a Torvald than an Inara.
I think we picked the Bomb King
especially
here.
especially if I'm taking Koga Khan.
Yeah.
Like both of those two are very good into the Torvald pick. But again, it's not me playing. If they don't... I think a lot of times now when it comes to banning in Paladins, there's so many potent characters. I really do think it just comes down to what do you like to play against? What do you not like to play? You know what I mean? I don't think there's a right or a wrong ban. I think a lot of times now it can just be a personal preference at this point.
How do you feel about the Vatu pick?
Love the Vatu pick. Absolutely love the Vatu pick. Amazing character. Really high skill. High tier pick character. What are they giving Sophia here, dude? Sophia has now Inara, Vatu, Genos. This is crazy that they've just got these three. Now on the other side, we do see the Koga and the Khan, which are two of the best controller picks in the game, full stop. But they need something good here too. Are they going to go with the Grover or are they going to go with the Furia? Do they need to? Maybe they go with the DP. Maybe they go with the tank. Maybe they take the Nyx.
The Nyx might be the best choice here, but also I think the Grover might be a good situation here, considering the tank situation with Connor right now. That'd be a good stack.
Furia.
They can do it. Well, there's the Fury. You called it.
Yeah, they go with the Fury. Yeah, all of those picks were good picks. It's just again depends on what they want in the situation. It's hard to decide though. Sometimes I swear, like to pick. I think with the Fury role, they now have that aggressive 30-second of a point fight that they should be winning the whole point fight. I guess the Grover's good for the survivability against the Vatu, but I guess Furia has that too with her ultimate. We'll see.
Why ban the rocks here? Why ban the rocks? Because it feels like they already have a flanker. Will they go double flank, you think? Is that the comp that they were?
Easily they could go double flank with the Androxus Vatu. 100% Sophia would do that. Yeah. Sophia are players of a caliber that can just take the most hyper carry characters and do so well with them that it feels unstoppable, you know? And if both of them are coordinated and both push at the same time, you did it!
I got it.
You did it! There you go.
Yeah, dude.
Boy, now we just need to see the Ruckus on Sophia.
Oh, Willow.
No, they went with the Willow. They baited them. Oh, no.
The answer Willow's great. Yeah, that was great.
The Willow has a dead zone ability, which creates an area of effect that just strips all healing. So it's a double support composition to strip all healing away from the enemies is like mega strong. It's quite a good little turnaround there. And as well, the Willow ultimate, they don't really have anyone to shoot the Willow ult. Willow ult, basically, she can just fly around the sky indefinitely for a period. The Koga's not going to have much damage against that. Neither the Furia, neither the Grok, nor the Khan. So she's going to have a pretty free ult. And they don't go for another tank. They go for the backline DPS. Interesting. So they're saying you can have your heals. We're going to strip it with the Willow and then do so much damage before you get your heals back that you're not going to be able to do anything. I like this. I like this a lot.
This has been the most calculated picks and bans as of yet. It's
very...
very...
I mean. If you had that Sophia's draft in a ranked game, you'd be so triggered. At your 4th and 5th pick, picking a Willow, Victor, instead of taking a flank, a tank. You'd be so triggered. You'd be raging at last pick Victor right now. But because it's competitive play and 5 good players who know what they're doing, you see these more peculiar drafts, you know?
Yeah, I would have expected to have seen... I was expecting another tank, honestly. Or, you know...
Zahn could have been good here, yeah.
Yeah, another off tank would have been nice. For sure to go off to the side and just be able to do more damage.
Oh! There you go. Look at you go, dude. You basically drafted this whole game, bro.
Let's freaking go. I won't curse.
You're on these teams. You're sitting here casting. Apparently, you should be in there drafting.
Dude, yeah, I'm the new. You can give me your job, man. I'm captain of NIP.
The coach now. I'm the coach now.
Look at me.
Interesting. Well, so I think back to back are just gonna have to just no brain run at them and just out sustain them, out DPS them, and I'm not entirely sure what Sophia's main game plan is gonna be. I guess hold the back line and strip healing, and then as they push in, try and do as much damage as possible. Question mark. Definitely an interesting round though, for sure. Both teams have a plan in mind that my small poor brain cannot quite comprehend, so I'm very excited for them to teach me what exactly is going on here. But yeah, these are interesting drafts, man.
I hope that it goes to some good defenses, some good holds, because I don't want this game to be short whatsoever. I want this game to go the full length. Let's get a 3-3, please.
Even the best teams in the world can get 4-0'd. I tell you that honestly. Even the best team. The crazy thing again, one of the only situations I said double support is going to work. Fury Grok. What did I say earlier? I said
Yeah, you did.
Grok, Fury Grok, and we've seen Grover Fury as well. We've seen every one of the ones I've said might come through.
But the Willow answer, right?
The Willow is a huge answer for it. And I'll tell you this, I played against, I want to say Nosy recently on his Willow on this map. So this strategy used against me in ranked, and we got destroyed. It definitely was Willow is a definite pocket pick that people forget about. Willow is that one that when the enemy takes it, you realize you've messed up. Either the enemy's an idiot or you messed up. You know, that's how it normally goes. Someone takes Willow and you go, this guy's an idiot. or the idiot, and you just let them get a Willow when it's a very potent pick against what you're playing into, which I think is the case here. I think the double support into the Willow works in their favor for Sophia. So I'm going to have to edge ever so slightly towards Sophia at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I really don't believe that either one of the drafts is significantly better, that they won the game already from the draft. I think both of these teams have a very, very significantly good chance of winning this round.
I think Ruckus in the game. I have to vote for the Ruckus, right? That's what I have to do.
Yeah, that's it. I'm afraid you asked for it. You've got to support it now.
Yeah, I honestly do. So I'm voting for back-to-back. You're going for your boys in blue, Sophia.
Yeah, I'll vote Sophia. You can go back-to-back.
Oh, let's go. All right, I'm defending my team. I don't know. The Ruckus just feels it's always a fun champion to play, and I do like the team comp on the right-hand side. I wish that we did not let them get a Willow, because I as a basic, Paladins player and Smite player, understand the effects of large area of effect ultimates and large area of effect abilities that Willow will have that will directly affect both Grok and Fiora at a pretty high multitude. But we didn't really talk about it, but the Janos is cool.
Oh, Janos, the most broken thing in the game at the moment, honestly. Yeah, the trouble with Janos is and this doesn't really apply to these players because they're fantastic players, but in general gameplay, the trouble with Janos is how easy of a character he is for how much he does, literally I feel like anyone could play Janos to a high standard without much game knowledge. But any of the other supports, you need a lot more positional and gameplay knowledge to play them, and you probably still won't get as much healing as the Janos got, So it's a bit of an unfair advantage he has for being so simple but doing so much. I'm very much an advocate of in-game the more complicated a character is and the more difficult the character is, in my mind, they should always be the better character,
It's very true.
Skill cap should always be rewarded with better characters.
It's why
that's just not reality though,
Yeah, it's why for both Paladins and Smite, for any game by Hi-Rez, we have had the frustrations, I would not say like the anger or anything like that, but the frustrations of watering down Persephone, for example, or watering down Maeve for a little bit. I know that back in pre-beta and stuff like that, her abilities, crazy, she was very difficult to play, and the way that it was, I always had a hard time when Koga was first released playing him. He's pretty difficult to understand for newer players. Once you get used to him, though, you're pretty much just bonkers crazy. Then you have guys like Ruckus, right? We can talk about Ruckus right now. Just point and shoot, shield yourself, good to go. It's kind of how it is. The ultimate is a push of a button, you become enhanced. It's really not that difficult
Not that
to do.
complicated, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have that
Here's Ruck,
range.
though. His ability to be played complicated is definitely there. You know, your skill
Yeah.
level on Ruckus really does determine, because some people can be terrible at him, some people can be the greatest players in the world, and we might be seeing some of that here now already. Oh, the Willow bomb's coming through quite early, and we are actually in game here now, ladies and gents.
Ooh.
Oh, Nad it, no! Oh, he's okay.
He's
He's
good.
okay. He got back on. Never mind. He's still dead though.
That's the cool thing about Ruckus, is what he just did right there, which is just the ability to run at someone and have so much of your own type of peel, but as well as just do so much damage. That's a great first pick. 30-30 going both ways right now. Very close, but right now back-to-back hold the site. My boys in red. Ruckus looking very good, but over on the side is he right now? Once again, not getting caught out here a little bit and taking a lot of damage, but Grok is already on site with the rest of his team, 63% in the way, already capped for back-to-back.
Yeah, it's a bit back and forth on the point here. Back-to-back getting slight advantage over Sophia. And advantage going more and more their way as they do trade out Nick. Unfortunately, Nick dying there, but it's going to be another trade for the Ruckus as well. Nice ult from Vartu, but doesn't manage to pick up any kills. Do they get the Furia here? They have to get the Furia. Fantastic ult from Vartu. That was a little bit risky, but he did know that his teammates were good enough to finish off that kill. So didn't put himself in a terrible position and die there. Then they get the kill on the Koga here. Nice. Fantastic. This is looking pretty clear cut in favor of Sophia here for this first point fight.
Clear and cut, 78%. Chill out, all right? That's my boys in red, okay? Don't talk about it like that.
Hey, listen. There's another three points to be had. Sophia only has the first one so far, but it's looking good for them at the moment. I mean, I think as well, back-to-back have had a good showing. They've got some good picks already. It's just whether the safety of the picks outweighs the actual ability to get them. Oh, Sophia with the Genocide. Don't think they managed to even hit anyone with that.
No, I thought it was about to. Thread the needle hit. We went with like right in the middle of 4 people, but here we go. The pushback coming from back-to-back right now, pushing the entirety of Sophia back towards the site. Inara ultimate will land onto a single target. Will peel herself out for right now, but no kill goes the other way. Still looking for the Inara. Is the wonderful looking everyone on the team of back-to-back is trying to kill the Inara, but this is a situation again of it's not going to work out too well. Yeah, she's so tanky and healing so much.
She can get away with, like, she's so low, and then they just turn back one corner.
Yeah.
They'll try and push for that, like as you would, to try and get that pick, and then she's just already half HP. I want to see this game. I would love so much to see a Grok chase the Willow in ult this game. It would make me so happy to watch a Grok ult after a Willow that's ulting. Nice stun from Yoka there onto Nosy. Not going to be good enough though. Nosy picks up another kill there, and it's going to be their main support in the Furia. And then lastly picking up the Ruckus again. Back onto the cart here. 1:12 to go. They don't have much push so far, but they should get a nice amount of push now off of that clean 5-man wipe.
Yeah, should get a good amount, but there's 2 more choke points to get through before you get to the main site. Big Willow fly coming out here, as well as the bomb will be thrown down on the correct target to anti-heal right there. 4 members.
They've really separated the Khan here as well.
They
now.
have, yeah.
This time with the Khan, yeah, that's going to be a kill onto the Khan as they're trying to push in to try and help him as well. The extra damage from the Willow. They reduce healing from her as well, but they do trade out Matha. They do actually lose their Inara for that, which is a bit surprising to me. And no, that's going to be the Koga now. So there's going to be a 3-for-1 trade on the Inara, but I mean, losing your Inara right here isn't exactly the best thing though, to be honest. Oh my god, and another pickup. Oh, they need to kill this Genos. Don't hold him there. Pull him in the base. Yes, nicely done, Khan. That was a bit risky from the Khan there, holding on to him as long as he did there.
They're gonna do it again. They're gonna throw him back at the throw him back at the point.
Have your healer back. We don't want him anymore.
Yeah.
But the Khan was looking at the Grok for the Grok to kill him, but the
10 seconds for Sophia.
For
They gotta get in there.
Yeah.
The only person that can do it right now is Nada on the left-hand side. Fiora beam will come out, will not land anyone. Overtime, someone did contest. That probably is the great old Janos up there in the front right now with the rest of his team. Back-to-back, trying to push the rest of the members off. Overtime going down quickly.
He doesn't. He just tries to get out, and he can't even do that.
Yeah, 1-to-1.
Really good defense. The Ruckus got into the back line there, and Nada opted to kind of leave Ruckus, Victor to deal with the Ruckus. Fortunately, he didn't do that. Ruckus picked up the kill. And then I think from there, having the Ruckus in the back line and the attention divided on who they were putting the damage out onto didn't really go in their favor. Nosy yet to die. That's surprising, considering that the They actually didn't have too much of it left on the push there. You would have expected them to give it all, and maybe that would have led to a death, but I guess better players just don't need to die, do they? 14 streak there on Nosy as well. Game paused here, though, ladies and gents. I'm going to run back in just one moment.
No problem. I will take over for 1 second. As I think what should really be going on is Ruckus. If Willow is on a 14 kill streak, no death right now, we should be seeing the Ruckus. One of the main, even though it's a tank in all technicality, on the side of back-to-back, I would expect to see at least a couple shots up into the sky to try and land it. But I understand a Willow is so easy to just not kill. That's the situation. It's easy to not kill a Willow, which means that it's hard to kill her. And if she's able to just get either the ultimate off or multiple of the dashes or anything in her kit just to counter a Ruckus, it's going to be an immediate, he needs to either run away like he does or needs to go and just either put up a shield or whatever he can do, get next to his Grok and hope for some love from him and some assistance.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult for the Ruckus to hunt down the Willow. I'd say near impossible, honestly. That's the trouble as well. Once that Willow has the ult, they really have nothing to do with it. The Willow is so free. And the pressure they need to put in to get into that back line to then face the dead zone, face the Victor damage, it's pretty significant. Back-to-back, draft-wise, definitely not looking as hot as Sophia, I would say personally.
Yeah,
and,
well,
on to the second point fight here now.
Yeah.
Characters are just making their way down to the main area. Both taking separate sides of the map here. Khan only on 46% ult. Did have to use that earlier for the Genos for the defense, and his shield is already melted. Oh my lord.
This is what happens when you get Bulldozer and most of these other items. Wrecker as well, and that's what I saw on the side of Sophia. Back-to-back needs to go ahead and push onto this site. 30% already going the way of Sophia. Big ultimate coming out from Ruckus to enhance every one of his base attacks, but the Grok ultimate will come out to counter it, and he looks up into the sky to see the Willow, but will not get the kill onto him.
Oh no.
That's a stun up in the corner right there, and that's a kill.
They looked like they had it as well. It looked like they were going in. That's the thing with these top class teams. You see a point fight that you recognize as, okay, they've lost this point fight. And then within the next 4 or 5 seconds, they've won it. And it's just sometimes it seems so unbelievable, you know, just those small, tiny changes that happen throughout that transaction or transactions between the team members. It's just absolutely crazy how fast the tides can turn.
Yeah, well, they're back in
use
full
doesn't
thing.
manage to get anyone. Is going to be a Genos ult coming through and does actually clip the Grok. That is terrible news. The Victor ult comes out just as he was about to finally kill the Willow. That must hurt a little bit. Khan does manage to get an ult onto the Victor, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh, the Fury ult though. The Fury ult comes out. Koga's putting out numbers.
They have to keep this overtime going. Foro throwing her right down the aisle.
Look at how well they just recognized the fact that they weren't winning that point fight, and the fact that they've actually got out to a position where it's possible for them to retake.
And Ruckus is already back.
Oh my god. Ruckus is dead. Do they get a touch though? Look, and they get a touch. This is what I'm talking about. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, back-to-back got it.
They got it. Oh no. Sophia's so mad right now.
They C9'd. They C9'd.
They actually C9'd. Oh no. So no, Nadit would have gone in with the Vartu to get the touch. He would have had to dash straight back off again because just getting that touch alone would have been detrimental to his health pool, to say the least. The fact he survived that moment alone is impressive enough. But then I guess the communication wasn't there as to who was getting the next touch. Because it seemed like everyone was alive for Sophia, but not anyone was in position enough to get the next touch. And Mather is going to fall here now again. So they've lost their main source of tanking potential and their main source of holding this push off. So we'll have to see how well they can do now until the Inara respawns. But look how well they're waiting for the Inara.
Aw,
you know,
isn't that
this
so
is what I was
cute?
saying earlier, you know, about teammates that push in and use all their cooldowns but survive and pull back out. That's still a level of staggering if you haven't waited for your team to actually be able to capitalize off of any of it.
Bog2 over here doing as much work as he can, and it looks like they are going to be able to capitalize a little bit on the defense and hold here because they did wait for that Inara. 5 still strong for Sophia, 4 strong for back-to-back, and Ruckus is looking for any kind of damage, but ultimate will be, invisibility will be used by Grok here to get himself into a better position to survive. But back already is Yeah, bit of trouble now. Khan keeps finding himself in the worst positions.
Look at those heals. Look at those heals. Gonna get the nosy. Gonna get the nosy. Oh, he died.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
and then off the
Nice
wall.
fallen. How is this kind of alive? The healing numbers. Look at these heals coming out from this double support composition with the it's almost impossible. Oh, we got the ult as well. They got the Victor. That's a huge source of damage now lost for Team Sophia. Back to back have a real opportunity to push this in for the 2-2. And are they going to use the Ruckus ult? They do no need to use the Ruckus ult. They have no tank. There's no way they can defend this without that Anara. And just as I say it, successful push for back to back.
Let's go.
Oh my
Ruckus
lord! And it wasn't a full defense last time. So back to back now on 3-1. I thought it was going 2-2 for a moment there. So we're on 3-1 for back to back. This is not looking too hot for Sophia. They will have comeback mechanic now. It will be a lot easier for Sophia to capture this. So it is going to be a lot of onus on back to back to be pretty aggressive here to make sure that Sophia isn't getting a lot of that free comeback mechanic capture on the point. They do have 3 ults available. They're missing 2 pretty impactful ones, but the Grok should get his fairly quick, and the Khan not having his is pretty bad, but I think for a team of caliber of back-to-back, it shouldn't matter all too much.
This is really cool to see from back to back, and they don't need
Very
to.
aggressive already, look. They're just going
Yeah.
straight for it.
They don't need to be so aggressive though, but they could play back a little bit if they wanted to. But they also can take it because it looks like they already are winning this fight pretty confidently. Ruckus chasing the Willow, like I said, they should be doing. Look at this. Look at it. It's like they're watching me stream, man. There it is.
Oh, now they came in, got the final pick up onto the Ruckus. He's going to get the ult off. That was a fantastic ult, but the resilience is already online for the Koga, allowing him to use his dash immunity fast enough to survive here. Back to back, in a little bit of trouble having the Vata in the backline. Probably going to try and get a dismount on the Ruckus here, but doesn't manage to get it, unfortunately. That means Ruckus is going to get back to the point fight before Nad actually is. And this is really bad because he actually has his ultimate available. Oh, nice little dodge from the Willow to get behind the rock there. Forced out by the Khan, though. On top of that, that's going to be a pickup onto Nosy. One more pickup onto Mather here will pretty much secure the win. This is it. Wow. This is team back-to-backs here now to lose. And that's going to be a GG, 100% with Natic on there. Just the Genos and the Victor left alive. A Grok ult to keep them all safely and secure, healed up. And OT over and done with. Back-to-back successful in their win there. Fair play, GG.
Really well done to them. That was impressive. I was not expecting a 4-1 scoreline in that game. I was expecting something more like a 2-2 and then a possibly 3-3 even going into a last push. But back to back, I don't know if they're actually watching the stream or something because it seems like they just
took your advice.
Yeah, the Ruckus. I think every single time we went to his frame, he was just shooting at the Willow. Even in that, we saw it in that last fight especially, but we saw it in the fight before that as well. That ended up getting the point for them as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's difficult to do though, I have to say, for a Ruckus to have that consistency of aim, to jump and be able to hit a Willow that high up. That is no easy task to do, honestly.
Not much more to say about that game besides, there is another good game that happened in this set, and hopefully we can get possibly a spectate of that one. I don't know if Quentin will be able to get it for us, but that would be the Monkey versus Jobless game, I believe, or is it someone else? I think that's the one we wanted to watch as well.
Jobless would be a fantastic one to watch as well. Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised at how fast that swapped around from the round one of the pressure and the play from Sophia in round one. You've really felt like it was going to continue in their favor. Back to back did such a good job of turning that around, honestly. Such a good job of turning that around.
And there are stats from the last game, I believe. Ooh.
Here we are. What do the heals do? So 71,000 for the Grok, 100,000 for the Furia. Combined damage for those two of about 88,000. So we are getting about an extra, let's say 30,000 healing. But are we losing much DPS because of that? If we have 40 and 84 there and then 16, yeah, so they actually still had a significant of extra amount of damage, to be honest. Cronky only putting out 16k on the Genos, so they had more healing there, and then roughly roundabout averaged out on the DPS, I guess? Question mark. I mean, overall the damage is a lot lower, but I guess that's to be expected when you can just consistently heal up through everything.
Yeah, having the 113 on Victor and the 96 or the 97 on the Vatu does kind of swing it a little bit more towards the way of, I believe that would be, that's Sophia.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they switched colors. uh Sophia, yeah, it feels like they did put out more damage, but just the amount of healing done by the entirety and shielding as well done by back to back was just something that you could not mess with. And what I saw on Sophia was a lot of rejuice. I saw the rejuvenates, the healings one, and I was like, that doesn't seem like something that you guys. I saw like 4 of them. I was like, okay, I understand. I guess you have an Anara and a Janos and a Willow. I guess could all kind of affect it. And I know that does Victor have his self heal or no? Is that not a thing?
Victor can play with self heal on Life Rip card. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the more damage he outputs, the more healing it. I'm not sure if Nick was running that though, because he was running more of a grenade focused build. You either go with kind of more of a straight flatline DPS build, or you go with more of a grenade one. And it was so it looked like he was going more grenade. I'm not sure if you would run self heals on that or not, but I wouldn't be too shocked if he didn't have it. But the rejuvenate at the moment is just very potent because of the strength of the Genos. Full stop. The extra healing that you get from him because of it is it's worth. It's a value pickup.
All right. Well, with you saying that, the value pickup, it is. I agree with you on that one. I think that the game that I wanted to go to was already over, and we're going into Tour 5 as of right now. I got some options for you. All right, I'm going to read them off, and you can go ahead and tell me what you got. So we got Back-to-Back and Monkey. I think that's a good choice.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
You got Jobless and Marauders. You got Sophia and Team Psycho Kids, which I think, if I'm correct, Team Psycho Kids, let me see right here. The standings, back-to-back 4-0. Team Psycho Kids is currently only has 1 loss, and so does Sophia. So I think your 2 best matches in this next bracket is going to be, let me scroll down there.
Monkey definitely looks pretty impressive.
Okay, yes, I think you are correct. So back-to-back. And Monkeys, and I think the only other one that we would actually be interested in would be Sophia and Team Psycho, I think is the only ones. But yeah, Back-to-Back and Monkey, I think is what we want, Quentin.
Or we can watch full defense or pro circuit players could be good as well. I just don't know if we want to watch the same teams. That's all. I'm happy to watch them. I'm just saying for you guys on production. I don't know whether you just want to watch the same teams consistently or you want to change a little bit. I'm happy to just watch Back-to-Back Monkey or Sophia as well.
We could go and expand ourselves and just go ahead and not do the full defense. We've already watched them. We've already done Monkey and Back-to-Back. We could do
Macaronis already. We've watched Jobless already.
How about that Snickers Crescent game? We haven't seen either one of them.
Crescent. What's the standings for them? Crescent's 2-2. What's Snickers on?
Crescent is on 1-3. It's a 1-1 right now, so it's going. Looks like it might be a close game. Who knows though?
I'll let you guys decide. I'm indifferent. I really am indifferent. Production, your job.
Quentin, roll.
I renounce it. You choose.
Roll a dice.
Let's do Back-to-Back Monkey.
All right, let's do it. Pro Circus full defense.
Yeah, if we can. Okay, cool. Let's go full defense then. We'll go watch Bugsy. We'll go watch. I mean, we just watched Back-to-Back and we just watched Monkey, didn't we?
Yeah, the game before that we watched Monkey.
The first full defense one we watched wasn't really too
close.
Too much of a game, yeah. So this could be an interesting one to watch. Give others some spotlight, you know.
Yeah, give out some love here. Let the English casters go ahead and spread the love a little bit.
I love the fact we got different language casts. That's actually it's a pretty cool idea, to be honest.
Yeah, we got the French cast, we got the English cast.
I mean, you've got all the production done already, right? Like you've done all the hard work. Just for the sake of getting another couple casters, you get a whole nother stream. I think it's pretty spot on, to be honest.
Yeah, and a whole another 50 viewers. Yeah, get to expand a little bit. And
it's nice for people as well to be able to listen in their own language. You know. For
sure. Do you speak any Dutch?
Ah ja,
Dutch?
ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, ja.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. We could do a German one.
I can say anything. You wouldn't have a clue. Ja, ich lebe in Deutschland. Ist sehr gut.
Yeah, you live in Germany. It's good. Yeah.
There you go. Hey. Yeah, my German's terrible though, bro. Absolute garbage.
Ja.
I absolutely trash my German.
Absolutely trash. But
Yeah.
you could cast.
Atrocious.
They're gonna hire
So-
you to be you're gonna do Paladins of the Championships of the whatever it's called, and you're gonna do a German
enjoy
cast.
it. Do the German cast. It would just
Yeah.
be ja, nein, sehr gut. That would be it. That'd be like, ja, ja. Oh, nein.
Oh
That'd be
no.
that would be the entirety of the cast.
Oh man. All right, looks we got the link out to these guys to get this game going. This will be the last round of today, and so this will be the last game for us today. But these guys, this is going to be a good one to go off on. But if I am correct, Quentin will hop on his mic in a second here and confirm me. We will be back on the 24th or 25th, or 24th and 25th, Quentin, right now. Do you know?
I believe it's both. I'm pretty
Okay, we're
next
back.
week. Next weekend.
Yep, that would be next weekend. So not right now, but next weekend. This will be back, and we will be doing some more tournament play. More, I'm guessing, not bracket creating like this one is, but more of the competitive portion of this. So you'll see some of these better teams up against each other at the end of the day, and you'll see some of the other ones get rooted out or possibly have some good comebacks. So I would expect some of these teams to learn from their mistakes today. And practice over the next week and play some in-houses against maybe some of these better teams and start to learn some more, which is what you probably would tell your teams to do if you were still coaching NIP, you know? You feel that?
100%. Oh, I wouldn't need to tell them they'd be scrimming. They were the kings of scrims. They scrimmed more than any other team that I knew of, to be honest with you. They were always doing that kind of stuff. They were pretty hot on it. You have to be though. I mean, if you're getting paid a salary wage, do you know what I mean? You can't be messing about. You got to be putting the work in.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone's always telling you you're playing video games. Oh yeah, you're getting paid to play video games.
Oh,
And
dude. Stupidest
yeah.
thing ever, honestly. The hardest jobs I've ever had have been making money playing video games, you know? The only reason that you can make money on it is when you put the extreme amounts of effort in, because otherwise everyone would be getting paid to do it, wouldn't they?
Everyone would be getting paid if we were all just sitting here, man. I wish, right? But no.
Industry, but the ones paying the money ain't the ones playing it. Do you know what I mean? If you're playing the games, you're normally paying for them. You ain't normally making the money.
No, not at all. And that's why they're all. Oh man, that's why you got these big companies like Epic and Blizzard and all of them. We don't speak of Blizzard here in this cast though. Overwatch is not this game. I think Paladins is honestly becoming almost better at this point due to the fact of how they've dealt with Overwatch 2. The picks and bans.
It was an actual legitimate scam.
Yeah, legitimate. They pulled like what's the Activision or no? Was it Activision that had the loot boxes? Someone
I can't
did.
remember. I try not to pay too much attention, to be honest with you. The news is always so overwhelmingly negative these days. I go with the statement of ignorance is bliss again.
All right, I'm gonna make a big call here. You ready for it? I made two big calls last time. I said Ruckus and Grok, I think. Well, I want to see emoji. Pull it out.
It was the emoji. You know what? You actually picked a viable map for it. I'm gonna give you the credit there. You picked a viable map for the emoji pick.
Oh,
Whether it
man.
comes to fruition, I mean, I didn't think we'd see the Grok, so I'm not gonna say anything.
I'll take the emoji and I'll take a Pip as well. All right, maybe if they pull a Pip and I remember he was OP in beta.
A viable map for the Pip. Good choice.
Hey,
We are seeing the
thanks.
bans coming through already. The first two bans are going to be Nyx and Anara for Pro Circuit, and full defense are going to go with the Genos and the Eevee. So we're getting rid of the two main point tanks that we see in the game at the moment, which is kind of going to force us into more of a brawl style draft composition from both teams. The on-point survivability is going to be significantly decreased. So Pro Circuit is essentially, in my mind, saying with that, we think we can beat you in a straight DPS versus DPS fight.
Yeah, full defense probably feeling pretty good as well because they have a lot of choices here. This is the doors have opened for them. They will go ahead and pick because this is the slim choices here, and you said it is going to be a damage comp. Probably best to go ahead and pull out not the damage because you can pick them whenever you want to. We already have the Androxus coming out from Pro Circus,
Furia.
so you expect that they're not going to be picking many more DPS flankers, especially. So leave that until last pick. Pick up your Grover Makoa. Fiora is the answer to that. That is a good answer. And then a Fernando will be coming out as well. Wonderful looking Ares skin if they want to play it.
Oh, I forgot about that Ares skin. One of the better skins in the game, I'd say as well, to be honest with you. The Makoa pickup into the Andro pickup, kind of rough. Again, his headshot hitbox is pretty easy, especially for Androxus to hit. I do like the Grover into the Andro, though. Grover has great survivability versus Andro with his ultimate and his burst healing. But I do like the Nando pickup and the Fury pickup as well. So far, Pro Circuit looking a little bit more tasty. Oh, again, a very easy headshot character with the Barrack. Not that they had much choice, to be honest, with the Fernando being taken away from them. The only thing I want to see now is full defense banning Drogos. I think not banning Drogos here is a real mistake for them.
Ooh,
if they allow
yeah.
them to get a Drogos, Fernando, and Androxus, the only thing is they can't take it yet. Pro Circus can't take the Drogos yet because they haven't seen which DPS/flank full defense are going for. But Drogos is looking mighty good for them right now.
Yeah, and it's open for them because of the Octavia ban. I'm still gonna go with my 2 picks, but
we're not seeing much Octavian ranked, but she's being picked significantly, consistently today.
Sky.
Ooh, Sky ban. Okay.
Is it something that we didn't know about?
Maybe just a personal preference pick from full defense. Maybe they've scrimmed this team in the last week and they know that they've been really potent with the Sky. I'm not quite sure why the ban. I tell you what, with this situation though, to be honest with you, they have their healer, they have their tank, they have their off tank. There's so many damage characters and there's so many flank characters. At this point, you're just banning what you don't want to play against, not necessarily banning the most broken thing, you know. They're just getting rid of something. I do think the Koga ban or the Lex ban probably would have been more beneficial.
Another Grok.
With the Grok. Okay, so we are seeing, again, the Furia and the Grok pickup. To be honest,
Works well.
Furia Grok pickup into this. The Barrack gives off a lot of free damage for Grok because he has the turrets, which the lightning bounces off of for more damage. So that's quite nice. And this is one of Grok's more preferential maps. His bounces go very far on this map. And with the Furia as well, the amount of pressure, survivability with a Furia, Grok, Bomb King, Andro, they should be able to just steamroll through.
Can they answer with another support here?
What
Another.
can they answer with here? Oh man, I don't know.
They need more DPS? No, they got Koga and Barrack is fine.
Willow, honestly, again, Willow could be generally big.
Willow, they could pull out the. Yeah, I think the Willow actually is probably your best answer. You could.
Can't take Drogos because of the Andro. Well, I mean they could, but it's a very, very risky pick to take the Drogos right into that. They could. Oh my lord, they need a DPS. They went with another. Oh, Ceres DPS.
Yeah, first time we've seen that today. First time we've seen her in general. So that's exciting. A little bit of suck life out of some people. It's not a Lilith, excuse me, but she won't confuse you for the red bar on the bottom of the screen this time.
I don't know what this does though. I don't know what this Ceres brings that counters what they have. To be perfectly honest, I'm genuinely a bit confused by this one.
Heal the Grove. I don't know. I think they were trying to answer for the out sustain, but also out DPS if they can. It doesn't directly answer. It's not going to be great against the Fiora Fernando comp, especially. But if she can get to the Bomb King, I guess that could be your answer. Because she kind of can just stick to him. But he also, if he lands his bombs, it's kind of just over.
The only thing I would say in a positive light for the Ceres is she has really good CC. And their team doesn't really have... I would say that you don't necessarily need resilience for any of the remaining 4. So the Ceres forces resilience buys. So they're going to have to waste a space of item. And they're going to have to waste credits to get that resilience online. Other than that, I'm not... I just, again, it's one of those situations where I think they're trying to mimic Pro Circus with the sustain and the double support, but they got worse supports to do it with. You know? So maybe doing something different. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the game.
Yeah, they'll immediately show us what they're going to do because at that first point, it's going to be a full fight. Yeah, there's going to be no question about what the comp is going to be played like, especially for both of these games because these comps are played in very specific ways. with Fernando, you generally are looking to get on that site immediately and hold that site for the full 100%. You're looking to, even if one person dies, Fernando probably is not going to jog away from the site. He's going to die on it. And so this is a full dive in kind of comp. And congratulations to Panda Cat on also being a Paladins pro, including a Smite pro. That's pretty cool.
I forgot there was a Panda Cat and Smite as well. The players on that team, though, are Murta, Yoinko, very, very, very good players. But then we have seen the other side play today, and they played very convincingly as well. And they do obviously have the legacy player, Mr. Bugsley, on their team as well. So interesting to see how these things are going to go. I have to go with the Furia Grok side, though. In terms of draft and composition, I think they are the stronger looking team right now. But again, it's all in the play at this point. I don't think any one team has been so significantly outdrafted that they've guaranteed lost. And that just goes to show, because most of the times we've said one team's looking a little better, doesn't mean that necessarily that's the way the match has gone.
Yeah, and Kugu's over here pointing his gun at us right now, but there's our loading screen.
He's offended about what I said. I mean, look at this. We see a lot of GM borders here, so we already know they're the best of the best when it comes to the ranked scene. But it's a whole nother game once you get to the competitive scene.
It is. A lot more communication has to occur, and it's not all just about VGS and yelling at other people. There has to be some sense of stability and some sense of
no blaming everyone else for your own mistakes when you can talk to them.
No being a bee.
You can't just flame them.
Yeah. We all know how B is in game, all right? It's all good. No, I'm joking.
I'm not too bad, honestly. I'm bad on stream. I flame on stream, but I don't say it in game.
Yeah, it's totally fair enough.
I like to keep morale a little higher when I'm in the game.
You rock. Cancel that.
Genuinely, I think that is one of the key things as to why people don't progress in ranked is because they're too salty. Be salty, scream, shout. But when you start typing to other players, I don't think they realize how much worse you're making your teammates when you flame everyone. When you're toxic and you're sitting there typing at people like a little nerd, your players can play 5 to 10% worse because you've triggered them. And then every game you'll say, why are my players so bad? Because you're triggering them all. It's so stupid to me. Anyway, let's stop flaming the community.
We hate this. We hate the Paladins community. No, I'm joking. We love you guys. We love everyone
true.
watching this.
It's true. Stop typing like nerds and just play the game.
Yes, that is your message from Bees, and we are already at this point. Let's see what the comps are going to do, and our screen is currently having all the effects that everyone else is. Oh, what a pull into a kill. Panda Cat will be the first to fall.
He will be the first to fall, and Koga's getting stunned out here now as well. Very lucky to survive that. Just got out of his stun animation and managed to get a dash off there. That hook from the Koga, though, what a start for these boys. What a start for these lads, and they're taking no time to push up and get a lot of pressure off the back end of that as well. Makoa very lit here, though, could be the first to go on the full defense side. And managed to survive.
And Droxus is just flying around, man, doing a lot of damage right now and kind of getting away with it for free. Going to the Koa and will get pulled. Great pull again, has landed 3 pulls already this game. Synergy has. And Droxus is looking for these tanks instead of looking for the squishies, which I'm very surprised by. Getting some healing from the back pocket, looking for the Koa now. Will not find it. Will have to use blocks to go ahead and save his own life. Still 2100 health, looking good. 4th pull for Koa, pulling the Fernando on the site and getting another kill on the Panda Cat. Really well done by him right there. Let's go ahead and see if we can get more kills on Pro Circus players, as full defense will cap the first point.
That was absolutely phenomenal plays for that Makoa. The amount of, as you pointed out, pulls that he got there was just spot on. More importantly, the survivability after the pulls. Like the chances that they had to kill him there were plentiful. Every time he just managed to get out. I guess that's the beauty of the double support, isn't it? Even when you're that low on HP, when you have 2 healers healing you, that'll do the job.
Yeah, and Droxus has finally dropped, but had dropped down to 1300 health like 3 times in that fight, or less than that, 300 health sometimes. Koa in the front here trying to push up with the rest of his team, dashes in, trying to make some space. There comes the ultimate from the skies, and we'll get 1, 2, 3 kills. That is a great way to start this fight for Pro Circus players to push back, and a full wipe will come out for them. They will be able to hold this cart at a length away at 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. A regroup coming from full defense.
I actually played against this Andrew today in ranked.
This morning?
And I won. He's an amazing player, though. Honestly, this Androxus player is really, really, really good. Again, I'm really surprised that things are going in the way of full defense here. I genuinely thought that the draft from Pro Circus players would have edged them out and given them the advantage. But yeah, I guess when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, players can be better than characters, to be honest with you. You can get the best draft in the world, but if you don't know how to play it well enough, it's not going to help you out. So getting a good bit of shred here onto the Bomb King as well. Maybe able to finish his... Oh, the heal, the clutch heal from the Fury just came through to save that BK. Nice shielding from the Makoa, though. Does keep the Koga alive as he continues to poke out the backline. And yet another clean hook coming out from this Makoa.
I think that's the 5th clean hook we've seen this game as of right now. Still at the front line, using the shield barrier to go ahead and make some space for his team, but they need to just go ahead and start pushing this out. 30 seconds remain. If they get wiped again right here, this will not be enough time to push it onto the point. This is their final push as we get into the 25-second mark. Ultimate coming out from Grok, Will assisting, getting at least 1, 2, 3 kills going the way of, man, Pro Circus players. Great defense. Again,
Really well
this will be a 1-1 score. They're going to push them so far back unless someone sneaks into the back, which is exactly what Omerta is trying to do, is make full defense, not be able to push forward. Bugsy going to try to walk out here with the Seraph and not be able to do much. He will get killed, but not before the defense is already over, and they will take that 1-1. Great start to this game, 1-1. What do you have to say about the take of the point from full defense, but the defense itself from Pro Circus?
Yeah, really well played there from Pro Circus, getting that defense with just the Grok ultimate as well. They managed to get their Androxus ultimate back just there at the final bit with those last shots onto the Ceres. And they also still remain having 40% essentially with the Grok on his ult. So that's not too bad either, to be honest. 6% on the Grok ult doesn't take all that long to build up. So having all 4 of those ults available on Pro Circus side right now is very, very, very strong for them. They have good pick ults as well. Those ults are very good at just cleaning someone out, just getting rid of someone. If they use the early Fury ult into an early BK ult, they should be at least be able to get at least 1 pickup off the back of that and maybe snowball further. So the Fury ult has come out now. Are they going to use this effectively? What they're going to do with this? Not really a whole lot's happening, to be honest with you. A lot of damage from the Koga. Fernando pushes in with his ult. He's going to keep everyone alive. Huge ult from Ceres, but unfortunately the Fernando ult's still available. In comes the Bomb King with his ult. He manages to pick up 2. Is he going to be the 3rd on the Grover here? It is indeed going to be the 3rd. And lastly, they're going to pick up the kill onto Bugsy there. So I think both teams use their ults really effectively there. It's just the timing of each section of the ults worked more in favor of Pro Circuit this time around.
The amount of bombs behind that door. Someone don't walk through that door, please, or else you're going to die. There's so many traps. Oh my goodness. Over 1,600 damage on one person. Yeah, they exploded. Yeah.
I literally pulled him through the window. He can actually get a touch here. And he has ult available as well. Fantastic use of the ult there. Some players don't use that quite fast enough, and it ends up costing them the kill. He cancelled the ult a little bit early. Kind of needed to do that. Maybe could have taken a bit more damage. But use the shell shield on top of the barrack ult. That was a bit of a mistake there from Synergy. You'd like to have seen him either use his shell shield for maybe some more of his teammates in the back line, or maybe have saved it just to sit on the point a bit longer. Very, very mid-max mistake, but a mistake nonetheless. And Pro Circuit do manage to pick up the first point for themselves. That wasn't a defense point.
Yeah, full defense. Now on the defense, they need to go ahead and hold this as much as they can. Avoid to go this to a 3-1 situation. They wanted this to be a 2-2 situation. They push forward as right now. Koa in the front line, looking at Grok and Fernando, getting a good amount of damage out. Barry being used by Makoa right now to create room for his Koga to do that. Fernando will use ultimate again. It was back up, and Koga will use his ultimate to try and return the kill, but instead, escaping will be the Fernando. Back in the line right now is Bomb King. Goodness, Yoniko is going off right now, as well as there's the big beam coming out from Fiora, which will help secure a kill onto Barrack. Great defense right now from, great offense right now from Pro Circus players as they push this car even farther forward, more than halfway to his point.
Bit of a mistake there from the Koga. Just ulted just a little bit too soon. So when he tried to push on the Fernando ult was just propped over for just long enough that they're still able to survive there. Good attempt from him though. The thought process was good. Just the timing was ever so slightly off. They're getting in a little bit of a sticky situation here, but a huge hook from Makoa is going to do the job. That's going to be Yoinko being the first to drop here. They have a minute So it's probably worth them just falling back a little bit here, especially with how low their Fernando is. Panda Cat going to fall here now as well. So they do definitely need to retreat here and use this minute time to regroup and try and get back on for another push. Are they going to get Androxus? No Androxus pick up here. Yoinko Poppy bombs in. Bit of a dangerous scenario, but yeah, manages to get out with it. Oh, here we go. Look at the speed.
Oh, Grok had to use that ultimate immediately and turned it back around. Omerta already gets a kill onto Nova. This is the turn that Pro Circus really needed right now. Fernando is here again and ready to fight. 2 down on the side of full defense. Only 3 stand, and they have to full defense this. Cole will fall down. Avon will fall down. This is not a good situation. This will be a 3 score for right now for Pro Circus. And Androxus. Slam. You said it's easy to heads, right? And that's exactly what he just did.
You see it on the Makoa, every time the Makoa comes, it's ding, ding, ding. 900 damage or 700 damage, whatever it may be, but it's a lot of damage. So Pro Circus played that pretty perfectly. As soon as the Bomb King was using his ult, they used the Grok ult to basically supercharge it. Grok ult gives increased movement speed, and that will stack with the increased movement speed of Bomb King's ult. So they used that. So when the Barrack and the Fernand... Sorry, was it Barrack? Who was pushed out?
On their team, it was oh, are you talking about full defense?
Yeah, I could have sworn I seen a Barrack. I'm losing my mind.
I think
well, pushed out a little bit
survived.
too far, and then with the ability to use the Bomb King and the Grok ult in conjunction with each other, that speed that they were able to push them, the tanks were a little bit out of position. There is a Barrack. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. There's I don't know why it wasn't on the left hand side of the screen. That was weird. Yes, the Barrack was pushed out too far.
It wasn't there for a moment, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't there. And then Sereth also got picked immediately afterwards. So the picks were the situation there. This is a big cap here for full defense. They need this cap, or else they will lose the game right now at this moment. Another big pull come out from Koa, and Grover is getting smacked from behind. Nova will secure the kill onto Panda Cat and Prada in the main team fight, as well as Synergy will find himself another pool kill situation. 2 members of Pro Circus on this site right now, and it will be a good situation here for full defense as they have 3 member. Yeah, they needed this. They needed this.
He can get a couple of dismounts. He doesn't want to push in. He's actually electing to not push in at all. This can sometimes be seen as a negative, but in this situation, I do think it can be considered the right call because they were not fully regrouped themselves either. So he could have just pushed in and ended up dying and costing his team the round. So I don't think it's a negative that he didn't do this. The unfortunate though is they've given so much free space back to Circus, and that Bomb King ult is available again.
Oh, 9790. He's going in. He's going to roll in and get a pick right there. Helps his teammate get it. Is to be exact, it will be Prada who will secure the first kill, the second kill. 99% going the way of Pro Circus. This is not looking good for full defense. And that will be game. Pro Circus.
Done there. Fair play to them though, honestly. They had a great retake there. That last point fight there as well. The fact that they even wiped in such a convincing manner was very good, but as I said, they just didn't unfortunately then have the point pressure or the tank pressure or the control of the map to actually push in and get the dismounts, which allowed the other team to come by for the retake. Very well played from both teams though, honestly. Again, I just do think that the double support compositions that were chosen, one of them was just significantly better characters. I don't think the Seris brings enough to the table. I think Seris gets counted out significantly by herself, so then introducing her into a double support composition, I don't think she helps out in any too much of a convincing manner, to be honest. What did she have in the end? She had 88,000 damage, 40k healing, so it's not bad numbers though, to be honest with you. What did the Grok have? 58 and 96. So I don't know though, to be honest with you. The Seris damage is fairly consistent, the healing was decent, and then the Grover heals are very strong. They definitely have, it's about the same really, isn't it? It's all about the same. I think I think the ult from the Furia and the ult from the Grok on these maps, I mean, the consistency of the Grok ult with the Bomb King ult and what that did for them was clear cut that it was very strong, whereas the Seris ult use didn't really have the same effect, did it? You know?
No, not at all. I think that I look at this game in the way that I look at Smite, which is that in Smite you have relics, which is like purification beads and Aegis and stuff like that, where you can use them to get out of hard CC or whatever it is. And so in this situation, usually when you want to take a fight is when all those things are up on your team. But in this game, it's all about when your ultimates are up. You need to align at least 3 ultimates, and if you can do that, which is exactly what Circus did, was they lined it all up with the ultimates, and especially with the movement speed of Grok's ultimate, with going back into these fights, and then just having the beam from Fiora, and then Panda Cat going into ultimate, and then Androxus going up in the sky and just landing headies. We heard it every single time we went to Androxus. All we heard was ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
There was no answer. And then Bomb King is just doing Bomb King things, whether it's rolling up into a ball and rolling into 5 people, or it's throwing it from a mile away and just setting up for traps and those types of things. So really well done there to Circus on, once again, lining up their ultimates, which I think is kind of what you want to do in this game. And so if I ever end up playing it again, which I probably will here today, because I just kind of got excited about seeing it get played. I'm ready to go play it right now myself.
Yeah, it does that. That's the best thing about these tournaments when they start coming back in, is the level of excitement that they actually start bringing back into the game. It inspires you. You know, you realize how much of a good competitive game Paladins has the capabilities to be. So it's definitely something that I would like to see more of these tournaments coming in. Hopefully we will now. Hopefully we'll have these monthly tournaments coming through to kick a little bit of competitive life back into the Paladins scene. And it's definitely something I love being a part of. I always enjoy casting, watching the better players do it better than I could, you know?
I mean, you could be in there. I think we could get you in there next time, and you can make up
be in there, but I wouldn't be winning them. Listen, anyone can sign up, mate. That's no trouble. You could be in it next week if you wanted to.
We could be in it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it. The caster squad. That's
yeah,
it.
Right. We'll go get the French guys as well.
You need new casters for the weekend, boys. We've decided we're making a team.
But that being said, I think that if Quentin, if you give me a thumbs up on your camera, I think we are good to go. Unless there's some other stuff to say. All right. Cool. So I have been Phoenix. It's been NDBs across from me. Quentin has been on the camera, and this has been the Paladins Championships. You can join us next week, or do ! Discord, or whatever you want to do to join us here. We'll be hosting more of these, hopefully, and we would love to have you. So we'll see you next weekend, the 24th and the 25th.
Fantastic.
Yep, you're good.